Hello. Hey, everybody. How are we doing? Oh, man. Oh, fucking hell. I was. I tried to get a lot more sleep before today. Um, but, I mean, obviously that didn't go too well. I don't know if I have my saturation up too high or something, but my eyes look. I look like I was either crying or. I don't know. Maybe it's just the blue shirt. Who fucking knows? But yeah. Let's see. I gotta restart my stream manager here on my phone so I can ban you fucks quicker. The fuck? Let me. Okay, I guess I gotta restart Twitch on my. Whatever. Skibbity. Skibbity, skibbity, skibbity. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna. I don't know. I feel like I get brain broken when I look at like follower counts and whatnot, or not follower counts, like viewership. I feel like I don't know. I wish I could do all the other stream management stuff and not see that. I guess. Um, yeah, because it makes me like have false charisma. Like, what the fuck am I doing there? Like, I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, I'm gonna fuck with my camera settings. Let me know what looks better. Because I don't think I have it. Okay, fucking whatever. Discard, I guess. Chat rate on YouTube? What? I'm, I'm missing something? I, oh, not showing me if there is one. Unfortunate. Anyways, okay. I want filters. What do I even have here? Oh, it just makes like I makes my eyes look a lot more human without the color correction. um, mm, that's fine. I don't know if I want a crop or pad. Oh, there isn't any. Doesn't matter. We'll try without. If someone says you're looking especially bright today, then maybe I'll change it back. I don't know. I don't. Uh, let me do. I want to be a little bit smaller. I don't have a particular reason for that. I just feel like my face was way too close in, and I don't know, made me uncomfortable. But minor corrections, I don't know. It's the things you got to pay attention to if you're gonna make it big. Take notes, fellas. I don't want to start with Pierce Morgan. I just want I want to put something on and get started with American Truck Simulator, just because, God, that game is so goofy. I turned up traffic stuff a bunch in the settings for it, so it'll be a lot more. Oh my God, chaos code, whatever the fuck. I actually did some preparation for today, so you're welcome. Um, so there's an hour-long Trump speech. There's a press gaggle. There's a WIC panel on inflammatory rhetoric. There's Tim Pool. This is short. There's a Vosh thing. I saw something about a. I didn't. Is there a resident comedian on Fox? Because I saw something. I don't know. Oh God. Obama misquotes Charlie Kirk to push his own agenda. Do we want to watch Benny Boy? um. How the fuck is there any discoverability on YouTube? It doesn't feel like it. Because if I was worthless as a streamer, I feel like no one would be coming into chat. But you know, people filter in and out on Twitch. Can I be that shit? God, okay, yeah, this is the. I want to wait for more people to be here because I know that this will be. Let's see. Valhalla VFT? What the fuck? Alright. What do we got? Kit Boga is getting recommended. Oh, that's cool. Live funniest cope moments. Okay, sure. Oh my god. The dark turning point for America, Civil War, martial law in 1984. Okay, that's... I don't think we're there yet, are we? Are you allowed to watch The Daily Show on stream? But I don't think that's allowed. Oh my god. Actually, this'll... Oh. 145 against U.S. as UN votes on Palestinian President Abbas video address. I don't know. I need something. I need to rage bait myself again because that Pierce segment to start off was appropriately. Oh, valuetainment would be a that's a good place to start.
On Wednesday.
Okay. This will be appropriate rage bait for me. Then I can move on to my woke agenda.
Afternoon, we get news that ABC has moved on with Jimmy Kimmel. Everybody was shell-shocked. What do you mean they've moved on with Jimmy Kimmel? And then news came out that the reason why this happened is because the FCC, and by the way, it was over these comments. Let's play the clip to what the comments were, and then we'll get into a couple other things. Go ahead, Rob.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half-staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks?
I'm part of the woke mafia. Sorry.
They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty.
Yes. He's at the fourth stage of grief, construction. Demolition, construction. This is not how an adult grieves the murder of somebody.
That comment is made. Stephen A. Smith said something very interesting. He said, look, aren't late night show hosts supposed to be funny? He says, that's not even funny. So what's funny about that? Like, at least tell a funny joke, right? At least make us laugh. You're not even doing that, which is the most simple question. This is the one. Yeah, 13-second one, Rob. Go for it.
The only thing that I would say as it pertains to Jimmy Kimmel was, where was the joke? Because you're a late night host. And obviously that has a comedic attachment
You're not allowed to say anything unless it's a joke.
He's right. So your job is to make people laugh. And I've said this for...
I'm sorry. The fourth stage of grief, construction, that was funny. I'll give him props. I chuckled. The MAGA gang blaming thing is like, yeah, that's not a joke. But the construction thing, I think, was pretty fucking funny.
for a long time. I have no problem with what he wants to say. Go be a pundit. Go apply and work at CNN. Go start a podcast and compete with Midas Touch. Go compete with some of the big podcasters. When they had their podcast during COVID, they actually did well. Him and his couple buddies that they had their thing going on. But man, we want to watch you and we want you to make us laugh. We want you to not get into politics and lose half the audience. Many, many years ago, the one and only Johnny Carson was asked by Mike Wallace, hey, what do I do? What do I do as a late night show host? How come you never talk about politics? And he gave such a simple answer. And this is the interview. Here's the great, the one of one. This guy is a one of one. There will never be another Johnny Carson. This is what he had to say.
People say he'll never take a serious controversy. Well, I have an answer to that. I said, now, tell me the last time that Jack Benny, Red Skelton, any comedian, used his show to do serious issues. That's not what I'm there for. Can't they see that? But why do they think that just because you have a Tonight Show that you must deal in serious issues?
That's why I'm considering getting mods.
It's a danger. It's a real danger. Once you start that,
make this insane.
You start to get that self-important feeling that what you say has great import. And strangely enough, you could use that show as a forum. You could sway people, and I don't think you should as an entertainer.
But I feel like it's a good stream game because I can control the media like via buttons on the keyboard, like pause, play, and whatnot. And second of all, I can text and drive, so I can just look to the side. I don't text and drive in real life. I'm very much against that. I hate when people do that. But for stream, it's fine. Yeah, I was thinking about that, but I feel like 200 miles an hour might be fun. Going 0 to 1,000 in like less than a second might be a bit extreme, but we'll see. I'll look at the workshop after this delivery.
Wow. This is why he's Johnny Carson, right?
He's a psychic.
So, Tom, can you know some of the things? Maybe walk us through what happened with Disney, Bob Iger, because obviously the story here, when you hear that Bob Iger reaches out, and where's the story about Bob Iger, Rob?
That is in the addendum. That is page...
Yeah, there's a story that says Bob Iger reached out...
page 5, unrepentant.
Yeah, unrepentant Jimmy Kimmel refused to apologize after Charlie Kirk outrage and planned to double down on MAGA attack report. This is a New York Post story. Let me read this to you here, and then, Rob, you can go to whatever you got up there with Jesse. Late night Jimmy Kimmel said he was unwilling to apologize for his remarks that blamed MAGA supporters for killing conservative Charlie Kirk and said he was going to double down on attacks on attacking President Trump's backers before he was yanked from air. Kimmel learned in a phone call from top Disney exec Dana Walden on Wednesday afternoon that his show was being removed indefinitely. Deadline reported, citing sources, during the call, Kimmel reportedly refused to comply with calls from critics and the owners of dozens of ABC affiliate stations for him to apologize. Kimmel felt his remarks required no apologies. Another source told Hollywood Reporter that Jimmy Kimmel Live host also claimed that he was planning to call out his critics for the late attack on him, all while trying to clarify his comments about Charlie Kirk. Instead, Kimmel had claimed his comments were mischaracterized when he said during a Monday night show, which was the clip that we played for you. Tom, your thoughts on this?
So there's a quick backstory. Can we do a quick backstory here? So Jimmy Kimmel's contract is up before the end of this year.
Yep.
And he was getting ready to negotiate. And they were getting ready to not renew him. And here's why. Rob, can you quickly go to the chart? Late night as a category has been unprofitable.
Oh, really?
These are analysts looking at it, Pat,
Hang on,
since
let me try and find a
22.
ramp.
Since the bounce out year after COVID, late night has been unprofitable. Look at the rate.
Is there like a free play mode I can do so I don't have to worry about like absolutely ruining deliveries and losing a ton of money? I'm sure there is. I'll again, it's probably in the workshop, but I'll mess around a little bit.
Ratings here. Kimmel, Late Show, Tonight Show. We have a chart right up here. Look at that, Vinny. What is that? You don't need to be a math expert to look at that.
And isn't that weird, Tom? It's all, everybody's watching because it was Trump, 2016 Trump.
Correct.
Everybody took the Trump. But people are done.
And
They're
in
tired.
they say in 2022, all of the networks
shitting on
started
Trump is
suffering
evergreen.
and saying that their late night, they had giant contracts. Remember, it's not just the host. They have producer contracts. You have
Which one's Fallon, by the way?
There
Late
is a
Show, right?
Euro
No,
Truck? Oh,
the
okay.
Tonight Show.
Tonight
Jimmy
Show.
Fallon.
Who's the Late Show? Colbert?
Yes.
Okay.
Late Show.
And
So Kimmel was Fallon was number one. Fallon was number one.
barely.
He crushed it in 2014, whatever that was. Yeah, he was, because that's right after Leno. You see Leno and
I found a I don't know if I got baited by the thumbnail, but it looked like a Fox News comedian. So we'll get to that. The video's really loud. Thank you. Here, I'll did I turn up? Okay, oh shit. Oh shit. Oh wait, stop. Yeah, audio balancing, it's like from what I hear versus what is...
then comes Fallon. At least Leno kept going at 0.96, 0.85, 0.85, then shows up 1.01. And then Fallon, year one is on fire, 1.5 for 1.18, 1.02. And then by year four, he fell below what Leno...
Like, is anyone good at, like, audio compressor settings and whatnot? Dustin, I have... Nice, man. Good for you. That sounds solid. Oh, fuck. How do I turn on my lights? L? Okay. Whew.
was and never recovered from it from 17 on. Go ahead,
That's
Tom.
exactly right. So here's the
I love
backstory.
driving at night because the light I have on my face.
They're about to negotiate with Jimmy Kimmel.
These are HyperX Cloud
and
3s.
guess what? This gave them...
I wore my Cloud 2s for... I can't even tell how many... north of 7 years. And they finally died on me. Or they didn't even die. The ear like cuff slipped out of the socket and was getting a little finicky. Like, if these have the same build quality as those, these are going to be my headphones for another like 10 years. I regret that I got the red because I had the like gunmetal color, so like gray last time. And that was, I prefer that. Not sponsored, but yeah, HyperX makes good stuff. I think this PC has... No, it has Corsair RAM. Never mind.
The reason they needed. And it was affiliates and advertisers that first went to Iger. And supposedly, as you just covered, Kimmel was going to double down. And Deadline Hollywood and some others were leaking out that some people on the writing staff kind of leaked, who are looking for jobs tomorrow, Vinny, right? It's not just the star with the big contract.
What would you like do with
How
your
many
PC?
people are around,
Would
like
it
a comedy
like
show and stuff?
gaming,
You got
editing,
like 12 people, directors,
whatever.
good people
Everybody.
with jobs, right? Do they want to protect their jobs?
Of course.
Might they have whispered upstairs that says, hey, he's about to double down tonight.
Yeah, if their job is on the line too.
I don't want to be really part of
and
this.
it's really reliable.
You guys can do it. And what happened was then Iger's people said, dude,
well, if
you know, you're not doing this. You're not doubling down. And they pulled him off. But everybody runs to First Amendment and all that. This isn't First Amendment. This is an employee gone haywire. And
again, whether or not they fired him, whatever. It's that the FCC chair commented. And for the explicit reason of, in no violation of anything, Kimmel made a joke. They're like, oh, he lied. He lied. No, he didn't. There's nothing in there that he lied about. Yes, MAGA did try and shift the blame from anyone from themselves. Now, is it pretty likely that the guy was on the left? Yeah. Oh, fuck me. Hold on. But what he said is just objectively true. The cones make you take damage?
you've got advertisers and other people. So let's put it into our perspective, Pat. You have a company. You're selling things. The customers are upset with the salesperson.
What does this guy
The customers
look like,
are upset with one of your employees. You know what you do? You say, go, wait a minute, let's look into
What's
this.
his name?
And an employee might get
He's in
fired.
The Sopranos.
Or put on the bench for a few
Steve
minutes.
Buscemi.
That's what happened here. This was a, and by the way, Chris Cuomo got it right. Last night, Chris Cuomo was saying, hey, he got sideways with this employer, and his employer took action. That's what happened. But the big thing, Pat,
Get the fuck
is
out of my
ABC
way.
and everybody else have been looking for a reason to move these off because as late night as a category is getting killed by Netflix streaming and alternatives because the new generation.
Like, I was thinking about this before stream. Imagine if Biden's FCC chair or another regulatory body put pressure on Spotify. Like, let's say Spotify was trying to merge with, I don't know, Twitch, fucking whatever, and whatever was like a regulatory body was like, unless you fire Joe Rogan, you are not allowed to. We will not approve this merger. Can you imagine? Like, Spotify did fire him for the disinformation stuff on COVID, but I would actually fuck. I was like kind of checked out during this. Did any government regulatory body put pressure on Spotify to do that? Or is Spotify like, okay, this is a brand risk? After this delivery, I can look that up because I feel like that's a pretty good parallel.
Doesn't want him. And by the way, Kimmel is 57. Leno,
And
they started
you're like 800,
talking
bud.
to him about getting off the air because he wasn't doing good with the demographic when he was 59.
Yeah,
and he
weird.
fought it until he was 63 when they finally pushed him off.
I think Vinny has a great idea. Okay.
Oh
Vinny,
God.
you had an idea about what you think. Who should
Not
replace
Vinny.
a guy like this for them to test something out? Go ahead.
And why not? And thanks. Like, if you guys think
look
about
so
it,
small.
it's Tom. What are you talking about?
Hold
Words
on, I gotta
talk
lock
and
in.
numbers scream. How much louder do those numbers have to punch you in the face? For instance, and I'm happy you did it.
He is.
In August,
He's a
Kimmel's
fucking
ratings was
Trump tomato.
1.1
It's so
million total
funny.
viewers. It was down around 1.9 million in January.
Thread the needle,
key
thread
18
the
to 49
needle. Nice and
demographic
easy.
dropped about 284,000 in
see
June
with
to
my fucking
129,000.
light.
Okay, nobody's watching. Okay, so, and you had us read the book Blue Ocean Strategy.
brightness on my
for
monitors.
you guys that have who wrote the book? Pat?
W.C. Chen and another lady that
Another
we had on.
girl.
Marborn.
Guys, when people are in the red ocean fighting and killing and everything and it's not working, you go to the blue ocean where it's clear you have a different plan. Why not
upper screen?
ABC, CBS, all these freaking networks?
That's American Truck
try
Simulator.
A conservative person that's
It's
in the middle
really
that's
fucking
just
dark,
funny.
though.
The 5 on the Fox
Who are you thinking?
works. I don't know. I don't know who it would be. Somebody that's willing to to find a Johnny Carson.
Because like Minesweeper, I get too locked into it to like appropriately focus on the videos. Now, granted, I'm getting derailed by chat every 5 seconds. But that's Madden is boring. Bad Euro Truck Simulator. Yeah, Madden isn't really my kind of thing. But driving a truck in a straight line, now that's some good shit. But yeah, I think it's better for stream because I can focus more on the video.
It's not going to be one
I
of these.
have one guy.
Chat.
Who do you think it would be?
Marcelo. I have one guy.
My
And-
guy
and it's-
Marcelo
oh,
Hernandez.
look, guys, I've been saying this for a
Shout
minute.
out to Marcelo.
I remember.
I have one guy.
Gotcha.
I think and Marcelo's not even a conservative. Marcelo's just a
He's a
regular
guy.
guy.
Yeah.
I have one guy. If you're smart enough to get a guy like him, how old is he? 28?
He's
You'll have him
28
for
years old,
20 years. Now, they're probably going to wait 10 more years till he gets the job. They're probably not going to hire him at 28. Maybe
Yeah.
they're going to wait till
Yeah.
38. But if I was a guy, I would start, I would start working with him and finding a way for him to become that. He's young,
People
he's
just
funny,
aren't
he's
watching
energetic,
cable.
he is multifaceted,
Lovable.
he gets along
Yes.
with
No,
everybody.
I
and he's
learned
28.
the other day
And
that
you
that's
have
how
a
he
long
made
ways
his
to
money.
go with him, and he literally talks zero politics.
Yep.
At all.
Like
So
fucking
you need
92
someone like
miles
that.
an
There's
hour.
no
Oh, shit, we
politics
gotta
tied to
curve
this
it.
guy. If I bring a late night show,
sorry, isn't that like SNL's whole shtick? Is they've made these guys were soy ranting about how much SNL makes fun of Trump. Wasn't that? How short term is our fucking memory? It's like half of SNL's content.
I think there's a couple of the guys that, I'm a big believer of a lot of these other comedians that are out there. But if I'm doing this and you truly want to go to none, bring a guy that's neutral like him and see how he does, how he performs. He would be on my top 5 list if I'm hiring somebody.
Oh,
I would look to do it now and go back to what Carson
I
said.
did
I'm not
hear
looking
that,
for you to
although
be 38 years old
the
and have
tone
depth
of
of
voice I'm,
understanding of all these issues, because that's not what I
inferring
want
is
you
a
to
bit
be.
sarcastic.
Yeah, and mind you, I understand what the waiting. He would crush it right now.
is that
If
not
they
true?
announce that he's there, bro, finally,
I don't
not
know.
the same.
I don't know the
old
PBD lore.
White guy that's just like, hey, America sucks. This guy sucks. It's boring. And you know what pissed me
Okay.
off about the whole situation was the selective outrage. And for all those people out there, please just cry me a freaking river. Where was everybody when they fired Tim Allen for being a conservative? Okay, Last Man
Agricultural
Standing
inspection?
had some
Oh.
of the highest ratings for years. and they canceled it because of his political affiliation. Okay, who else? Gina Carano, Roseanne Barr, Megyn Kelly, even Jason
Megyn
Whitlock.
Kelly fired for making comments about Halloween costumes.
About Halloween.
Wait, what did Megyn
don't
Kelly
wanna
say to
hear
get fired? Does
anybody talking about free speech? Because free
Dude, hurry
speech
the fuck
is free.
up.
You can say whatever you want, but there's consequences. And my question to you is, if somebody at Valuetainment, okay, you're a free speech absolutist. If Rob started going out there and just bashing Charlie family, I hope good for him, and falsely, Jimmy Kimmel, falsely claiming that this freaking Tyler guy was a MAGA guy, you have every right under the law to fire him.
I would say to him, here's what I would say to him.
I feel like the videos I use to like get myself fired up and rage baited, it's just like I feel like I have moved past assuming these people are rational actors, and I don't know. It's more just like, yeah, what did I expect? Unless, oh wow, interesting how they're interpreting this. Like, it's plain as day what he's saying. It's got to be in, like, I would imagine that PBD at least knows that it's kind of bullshit what Vinny's saying here, but he's not. I don't think he'd ever call him on it.
I said, Rob, you got to apologize. And Rob would apologize.
In a heartbeat.
And he would say, you know what? You're right.
God.
Hey, that was wrong. Can you just say something? I apologize. And then we move on, right? And for example, like on the last podcast, Eric Bowling here said that Candace hasn't spoke at, what do you call it?
TPUSA.
TPUSA for many years. Yeah. And then guy sent me a message.
You can also do that in real life.
And guy sent me a message saying, hey, she did speak at the event. Oh, okay, she did speak. So correction on what Eric said. She actually did speak in June of 24. I thought she spoke in
There's another inspection I have to do?
So she did speak in June of 2024 at Turning Point USA. When you do go through it and somebody gets it wrong, all you have to
under the hood or something.
say is, hey, this is what happened here. So if Rob all of a sudden is like, no, I'm not going to apologize. Yeah. Rob, I'm sorry, buddy. That was
true. That's
the guy's family died.
He died.
And you're literally blaming somebody. What are you talking about?
No.
I'm not going to do it. Dude, listen, I'm sorry, man. This company's not for you.
Yeah.
Go to a different place.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's not listen, ain't nobody
damage has
gonna
been done.
get everything
No point
right
stopping.
100%. I didn't want Jimmy to get fired. I just wanted Jimmy to, there comes a time in your life, honestly, where I think you pay attention to politics more and you choose a position. That doesn't necessarily happen in your 20s like it did with Charlie and a lot of younger Gen Z. They're going to rock the world.
Sorry. Okay. Maybe I just have a different, what is it called, epistemic process. I feel like you don't pick a team. I feel like a lot of people do, but I feel like it's the wrong way to go about it to, like, pick a team and then view everything through that angle first. Because that's what I did when I started, like, thinking, oh, libertarian, that sounds good to me, so I'll try and backwards rationalize everything from that. And then I had too much cognitive dissonance. I was like, okay, maybe we need some more regulation, more intervention. So then I was like, okay, I'll be lib left. And then I was like, there probably needs to be some things the government's a little stronger on. And somewhere in there was a MAGA, or not MAGA phase, but just like strong conservative phase. Then I was a communist for maybe a month, and then... But just, the point is, with all of those things, I felt enough cognitive dissonance to push me out of them, and I've slowly arrived, after a lot of time paying attention to politics, at where I am now. Not, that's my team, and I'll defend it till the end.
World for decades to come. Watch what Gen Z conservative kids are going to do the next 10, 20, 30 years.
What, piss their pants
we're
and
going to
cry?
witness what this generation is going to do because of Charlie. But to me, when do you start really caring about politics? When you start making money? When do you start caring about politics? When you have kids, family, when do you start really caring about politics? When you start paying really a lot of taxes? When do you start caring?
Okay, that's another thing. Fucking hell. Streamer, just watch the fucking video. Sure. But different people pay attention to politics for different reasons. If you're on a visa, you're going to be very tuned into politics from the moment you get that. Okay, it's kind of a luxury to only have to pay attention to politics because your tax rates bug you. Granted, I am a very, very fortunate individual. My family's well off. Like, I'm safe, comfortable. At the end of the day, politics isn't going to change my life too much. But fuck me for caring about other people's lives and wanting to help the broad populace. Whatever.
About politics. When you're around a lot of other people that are feeding you whatever, he's in it, right?
Of course.
But if you want to talk politics, Jimmy, and just say, it would have been more honorable to say, look, I'm at a phase of my life that I think comedy's changed my life.
Oh,
and I'm a comedian first. But honestly, I've been sitting with my friends and family and a lot of people that I respect, and they're telling me, Jimmy, you're talking too much politics every night, and it's no longer comedy. And I agree, and this is why I've chosen to go and move away from this, and I want to go out there and start talking about issues that matter to me. If he would have done that, guess what you say? You know what? Fair. Fair enough. Go start your podcast. Go to CNN. Go to MSNBC. Go somewhere. But your job is to make people laugh. When is actually the last time you watched a late night show from beginning to the end? Honestly.
No. Zero.
When's the last time?
Can I be honest with you? I don't think I ever. I think I have watched the full ones of Johnny Carson, just the whole thing.
I watched Leno.
Okay, I never
for years.
Okay,
fucking back
I watched
in my
Leno.
day,
And by the way, I liked Fallon at the beginning.
Oh my God,
he was
Fallon was
funny.
good,
He would dance. He would sing. Justin Timberlake would come up. It was awesome.
But then
it
he
was
started making
great.
fun of my
it was
guy.
fantastic, right? This is a great business model of America. What we need right now, believe it or not, Vinny, we really do need comedy right now. And I know this sounds weird. We need comedy right now.
I just gave him
We
credit
need to
for
laugh
not
right
doing
now.
that.
The business of laughing should do very well today. It should be great. People should be seeking it. You make a couple.
Again, you say Sleepy Joe, and these guys pee their pants laughing.
Animal videos. One of them gets 30 million views.
44 now.
44 million views an animal video. You want to see one of them? Can you pull up one of these videos?
Rob, I'll tell you.
Go,
real
go
comedy.
To popular.
I've
Go
always
right,
liked
right,
the first one, man.
Rob,
The first one with
there,
the monkey
second one.
running down the
44
Watch
street.
this. Oh, is this the one?
He's fighting with his wife.
Watch
Yeah,
this.
look,
Oh, wait a minute.
Watch.
Wait, I don't know if this.
Gotta be careful.
Watching.
Doing anything. So who is that? Your girlfriend? She's cute. What? I was being polite.
Pause it right there. Okay? Watch
They're
this.
arguing.
Not over. You screwed it up. There needs to be a basic policy. Make fun of both sides.
Hello?
Who the hell is the booker? We're out of 172 guests. Colbert had 171 was on the liberal side, and one was on the conservative side, and the one that was conservative was Liz Cheney.
Jesus.
Who hates Trump. Did you invite Charlie? You missed out on having Charlie on your show? Are you flipping kidding me? You missed out on having all these guys on your show. Why not? It would have brought so many eyeballs. So I don't think it's dead. I just think they royally screwed up with
that was a mistake.
great opportunity. And I think there's still a chance there. Adam, your thoughts here. Well, you just want to watch Marcelo, matter of fact.
Well, I went to see Marcelo last night. If you haven't heard of Marcelo Hernandez, he's the young rising star on SNL, and he's like my little brother. He worked here for 2 years.
I gave him a big raise once.
You actually shot him down for a raise.
Because your show wasn't making money.
Well,
That's the truth.
YouTube shows don't make money, but let's not go there. But the kid is killing it right now. And I'm so proud of the freaking guy, and his Netflix special is coming out. But you know what he is more than anything? Funny.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. Jimmy Kimmel is not funny.
At all.
He's just not funny. You know how they always say, like, in the culture wars, go woke, go broke. Well, not funny, no money, bro. Yep. No laughs, no cash.
I remember when I one time talked to him. I said,
Jimmy Kimmel?
No, Marcelo.
Oh, okay.
One time I'm telling Marcelo, because Marcelo would send the office, and you don't realize, we're his audience.
Yes.
He's working us all the time.
Practicing.
And he's just and I know what he's doing.
Yeah.
But I'm like, dude, you're so good. Like, he would just do his stuff all the time, right? And one day I'm like, so what do you want to do? He says, I have this special. So you got this? He said, I have this special. I said, really? Yeah. I said, so why don't we think about something for you to do here as a show? This is 4 years ago. He says, no, Pat, I can't. I said, why? My dream is to be on SNL. I'm going to be on SNL.
Yeah.
I'm like, Marcelo, let us get a podcast and a show going for you here. Do something with us. I can't. I have to be on SNL. This guy he says, Pat, He says, I would rather take $30,000 from Netflix than $1 million from anybody else just to make sure my special is on Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
He says, I have something. I know it's going to do well. I said, all right, do your thing. So what happens? The guy's now in Happy Gilmore 2, doing stuff with Bad Bunny, doing stuff with pretty much anybody and everybody.
Man,
but moral
like
of the story
woke
with this comedy
leads to
stuff
a lot of
is
opportunity.
it's not over with. Now here's Barack Obama. Okay,
my favorite.
When you're talking about, he's talking about comments about Charlie Kirk. Rob, I think you have it. Yeah. By the way, have we gone to the Keith Olbermann stuff? He's not talking about Kimmel here, right? He's talking about Charlie Kirk.
Yes, Charlie
Okay,
Kirk.
do me a favor. We'll come back to this. Trust me, folks. You have to watch this. Go to play that Chris clip that you have, Rob, right there. This is part of the stuff that's the controversy of
Chris Hayes.
I cannot believe, the cancellation. And I was like, wait a minute. What did you say when Tucker got fired? Yeah, did you forget? Because here's a great thing about the internet today. You know what's awesome about the internet
Tucker
today?
get fired because of
It
pressure from the
remembers.
FCC?
They gotta go find you, Doug.
Yeah.
The receipts are everywhere. Go ahead, Rob.
He made the announcement Kimmel would indeed be taken off the air indefinitely. And this is just the latest chapter in Donald Trump's ongoing campaign to crack down on free speech, dominate the media, and essentially render the First Amendment meaningless. So it was for the journeyman cable news host Tucker Carlson, just fired from his third network. He believed he could say anything, no matter how vile, no matter how disgusting, no matter how offensive, no matter how dehumanizing or belittling.
they
And
have
if you
to have
act
the
like
most-
a sociopath over
I
and
don't wanna make fun
over
of this guy,
and
but-
over and over, you will become unpopular on the national stage. That's just like a basic principle. Over time,
By the way, did
probably
he
not
say?
going to work out
I
well
thought
for
he
you.
was going to
Unpopular.
say something else, like not. What popular? The guy was running the #1 show when he got fired.
Yep.
Okay, and even today, his podcast is a top 3, top 4 podcast on Spotify.
Good enough.
Ongoing. Okay, and he goes around the world interviewing guys. You don't have to
Reasonable.
agree with him. I don't agree with a lot of stuff sometimes Tucker says. But guess what?
That was-
You can't say the stuff about. By the way, I invited Tucker to speak at the Vol conference. We have text exchange, he and I, 3 months ago. Invite him to come and speak. And I said, can you just give the landscape of what's going on? He had, I think he had something going on with hunting or something he had going on for himself. But so the story here is when you hear these, I can't believe what they did. Keith Olbermann, can you pull up with Keith Olbermann? Keith Olbermann, there's a story of him calling Bob Iger apparently has joined MAGA, folks. Bob
Iger,
is
yeah, of all
apparently
people,
MAGA.
sure.
Look
Disney
at this here.
CEO, real
Burnt
MAGA.
in Hell,
Watch out, see what we can-
Sinclair.
This guy's just-
Alongside Charlie
Jeez.
Kirk. Are you
Unbelievable.
flipping kidding me? Are you flipping kidding me to say something like that?
Wow, people
Now,
are
the
really
problem with
committed
this
to
guy.
the- wow. The exact sounds. Man, I thought people would have been a little more fucking operated all the time. Real companies. Wow. Sound fixes. Is it really just people adding their favorite trucks? I mean, no shame on that. I just more realistic traffic. That looks awful. Realistic, brutal graphics. I'm good. Realistic drivers. Okay. U.S. car culture. This one is what more realism. Okay. What else do we have?
He's been fired so many times. There is no more firing him. And yesterday, Destiny was apparently demonetized on YouTube. That's a decision that YouTube made. Did you guys see that or no?
No, I didn't see that.
Yes.
I think
Then
that
that's
happened because
fine.
he said something. What did he say? Another clip was circulating that he said, I hope Charlie Kirk's, you know which one I'm talking about? Right there. Zoom in a little bit, AFP post.
Come on, Destiny.
Liberal streamer Destiny, who recently refused to disavow the political motivated assassination of Charlie Kirk, has been demonetized on YouTube. I don't like to see it. I don't agree with 99% of what this guy says. If this guy doesn't incite violence and say things like that, you'd still be up. We still need the opposition of arguments.
Of course.
You know, but there's one rule I have: the inciting violence. Okay, all the other stuff
in
people
my
want to make fun of him, how he chose to be married to this other girl, how he chose to be. That's his personal life. I don't care what he wants to do with that part. You cross the line and you say something about Republicans and MAGA and capitalists and all this with Sam Piker. These guys, there's a slippery slope. Vinny's been working on something for the last 6 months, a shirt that he's excited about. Truly, he's excited about. And I want Vinny to tell you about the shirt here. Go for it.
Thanks, Pat. So guys, like Pat said, I've been trying to work on this shirt for almost a year, Pat, if I'm going to really break it down. And we, traveling, Italy, this, that, never got back to it. But now I think this is the best time, especially with the battle and everything that we're going through right now. I'm calling it like the faith-based line. It's a faith over fear shirt. I have the cross in the front, boom, in the front to let everybody know where you're at. And then I have this on the back. Faith over fear. And the Hebrews 11:1. Adam, you like this?
Thank you,
His
buddy.
faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. Everybody knows this. Jesus Christ was born over 2,000 years ago. None of us have seen him. Nobody's talked to him, but guess what? We believe. Okay, that's a faith. And the greatest story of faith I've ever heard, Tom told me, it was a centurion Roman soldier, and he saw Jesus, and he went up to Jesus, and he said, Jesus, my servant, my young servant is at the house, and he's paralyzed, and he's in immense suffering. And Jesus goes, shall I come and heal him? And the centurion, by the way, a Gentile, looks at him and says, Lord, I do not deserve to have you under my roof, but just say the...
Why would it... What? This mod increases the fuel price by 1 trillion percent times? Why? Okay.
Word, and you shall be healed. Think about that, Pat. So Jesus turns to his disciples and he goes, I have not found anyone in Israel with such faith. And he says to the centurion, he goes, go and let it be done just as you believe it would. Okay, and the servant was healed. That is faith, guys. So, and if you have faith and you are a Christian, you have nothing to fear. In the Bible, the command of do not fear, do not be afraid is said 365 times in a different variation. Okay, and that's one for every single day. So if you have faith, guys, if you have faith in God, in Jesus Christ, you have nothing to fear. Nothing to fear, and that's what motivated me, and I made this shirt.
Okay.
Boom, it's on the website, Pat. We have black, there's white, there's maroon, and there's different variations, Robbie. If you can, the shirt, boom, faith over fear.
Sick.
No, it's ridiculous, bro.
Look at the white one.
And by the way, like I wear my cross, guys?
Yeah.
When you wear this shirt, you don't need jewelry, because that lets everybody in front of you know,
500,000?
and then when I leave,
Respect.
boom.
Gang,
Boom.
go support it.
Pickup truck.
Vinny's merch, Faith Over Fear.
Okay.
White,
Awesome.
black, gray, red, pick and choose. It's out there for you to order. VTmerch.com. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.
You look different without headphones. Okay. That's not Ben Shapiro.
Welcome back to the Sunday Briefing. I'm Peter Ducey. Some breaking news this morning. The UK and Canada and Australia have all announced today
they have
they're
Ben Shapiro
formally
calling in.
recognizing a state of Palestine.
Awesome.
That's something we just asked the UK's Prime Minister Keir Starmer about. If you feel so strongly about officially recognizing Palestine for statehood, why are you waiting for President Trump to leave the country? Why can't you just do it right now? And isn't there a risk in rewarding
how do I
Hamas
activate
with that?
Well, let me be really clear about Hamas. They're a terrorist organization who can have no part in any future governance in Palestine.
Joining us live from the site of Charlie Kirk's Memorial in Arizona, Daily Wire co-founder and author of Lions and Scavengers, Ben Shapiro. And Ben, we will talk about the memorial, but first I want to get to this breaking news and the question to Starmer the other day. As I was leaving Heathrow Airport, this friendly-looking old English guy put his finger in my face and said that I was rude to the Prime Minister. Is it rude to ask why he was so uncomfortable making this announcement next to an American president?
Not even remotely. It's exactly the right question. The President of the United States has had absolute moral clarity on this issue. Keir Starmer, Mark Carney, Albanese in Australia have anything but. And you can hear from Keir Starmer there exactly why. Because there is no way to, quote-unquote, recognize a state of Palestine, a country that has no borders, no government, and apparently no responsibility for the health and well-being of its own citizens without actually rewarding Hamas, which is currently holding at least 40 hostages, possibly 20 of them alive, and could end the war at any minute simply by surrendering those hostages. They're handing a giant reward to terrorists in the middle of a war that Israel is fighting against a terror group that Starmer himself says has to be extirpated.
And so, if that's not going to get us closer to a ceasefire and peace, what is?
I mean, the only thing that's going to bring anything closer to a peace is actual military pressure and or victory. And the President of the United States knows that. I believe that the government of Israel knows that. I think even countries in the region know that, which is why there was very heavy pressure, even a couple of months ago, on Hamas to give up the hostages, and that was scuttled by Emmanuel Macron, the French prime minister, stepping in
like
and saying that he wanted to recognize the state of Palestine. So every time it seems that a war is going to end in the Middle East, the Europeans immediately step in with the help of the Canadians and the Australians and hand rewards to terrorists, granting them the additional impetus to continue the war.
Ben, you're joining us from Charlie Kirk's memorial service. It's a tough day for a country that has been hurting for the last week and a half. Do you get the sense so far, a couple hours before it starts, that it's more like a funeral or more like a celebration?
I think it's clearly a celebration. I mean, everyone is obviously devastated.
Oh, you
There's
can
a lot
get
of
the
grieving
Iowa
going
expansion.
on, but through the tears, there are a lot of memories and a lot of determination to take Charlie's legacy and build on it. And that's the theme that TPUSA has announced, is building a legacy. It's not just about what Charlie already built. It's about going on to build. And that's something that his widow, Erica, who's an amazing person, who's taking over the organization as the CEO, that she is determined to do, is to take Charlie's legacy and carry it forward and exponentially grow what he was already in the process of building.
So it'll be a great celebration of Charlie's life. There's not been much healing in the last week and a half since he was killed. Here on Capitol Hill, there was this resolution to honor his life and his legacy. 58 Democrats voted no. 38 Democrats voted present. What does that tell you about the places that things are headed?
I don't think we're headed any place good. I think that a huge chunk of the left truly does believe in a permission structure for violence, that if you believe the wrong things, sure, we'll condemn violence when it happens, but underneath that, we sort of understand why the violence occurred, because, of course, Charlie was a hateful man, as the shooter and apparently many on the Democratic left keep saying. That sort of logic is not going to lead to the kind of conciliation or unity that Charlie actually spent his life fighting for. Again, Charlie was a person who went on these college campuses and faced down people who disagreed with them in the kindest, gentlest, and I think most conciliatory way. You heard their arguments, he argued with them. That's what America, I thought, was supposed to be about. Apparently, there are some people who believe differently. They tend to reside mostly on the left.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has been talking about this. She thinks the White House now and the administration are taking advantage of people's sorrow about Charlie Kirk's assassination.
Only 500K?
In this soundbite.
All right. Well, that's what we're doing, I guess.
It is equally important that Congress does unite to reject the government's attempt to weaponize this moment into an all-out assault on free speech across the country, all in the name of Charlie Kirk. This is a disgusting attack on the American people and the very First Amendment rights that define us as a country.
Is that what's happening here? Is Charlie Kirk's life and legacy being manipulated by an administration that is packed with people who knew him and who admired him?
God, I hate Ben Shapiro.
I think that the people in the administration who knew Charlie really, really well would be
Get out of my
devastated
way.
to think that they were somehow betraying his legacy by
got a
cracking down on
delivery
free
to
speech,
make.
which is something that Charlie argued for every single day. And I will note that there is a vast gap between the amount of shock and horror that many Democrats are showing toward, for example, the cancellation or suspension of Jimmy Kimmel versus the actual shooting death of our friend Charlie.
There are 200,000 people who responded that they wanted tickets to this memorial that
people
you're
like
outside
Ben
of right
Shapiro
now.
that are
The
a
arena
special
only
kind
holds
of evil because they do
63,000.
and
A lot of the
should
line
know
of
better.
succession are going to be there. The Washington Post says
And they know what they're doing.
The Senate Pro Tem Grassley and the Commerce Secretary and the Treasury Secretary have stayed behind. Would all of these people, though, be in office today, serving a President Trump for the second time, if it wasn't for Charlie?
I think it's very difficult to say. I mean, the fact is that the election, despite sort of all reports, was a lot closer than people seem to remember. And Charlie made a huge difference on the ground. I mean, it was Charlie's data collection in a lot of the swing states, places like Arizona, that was leading the Trump campaign to actually deploy its resources in different ways. It was Charlie's on-the-ground campaign. It was his registration of voters in Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania. That was making a huge difference in these places. So while you hate to attribute the president's victory to any one person other than the president of the United States, it was a collective effort.
God
and any missing
forbid.
piece, including a huge piece like Charlie, would certainly made
Fucking God forbid anyone do anything to help that's not our dear leader. Fucking Christ, Ben. Come on.
Some difference.
So a year from now, what will Charlie Kirk's legacy be?
I think Charlie's legacy will be in death the same as it was in life, but significantly, significantly larger. And that will be the thought of him on campuses having open, robust discussions, convincing people, because Charlie was about convincing people that the conservative way of thinking, the biblical way of thinking, was correct. And he spent his life pursuing that. He also happened to be behind the scenes an unbelievably good coalition builder. And so I think that that is going to be part of his legacy as well. It's an important legacy and one we all ought to remember.
A big part of this story today is the security. It's being described as Super Bowl level security. There are 500 to 800 Secret Service agents deployed, but there was also a guy arrested there with a gun and a knife yesterday from where you were sitting. Does it feel safe?
I mean, I think it feels safe, but this is...
Welcome back. Yeah, I don't... Dude, the vaccine that he tries to take credit for, but also is against... Huh? I don't know. I don't know. Hey, what the fuck? It's me? I would make a great Fox News host. I could do regime propaganda so easily. Oh, dude, no worries. My wait, your power cut at the same time that my stream went down? Interesting. Yeah, because I think I ran out of RAM or something.
Sort of the problem in the country right now. What does feel totally safe? Again, Charlie spent an awful lot of time on campuses. He had a security team.
All right, so it would go something like this. God, Emperor, Trump. So I would have just a picture of this up, right? With Ben Shapiro, Fox News, all right? You see, a thing that's missing from the left is compassion. All they do is shit on us when we are getting killed in the streets, at events. All we are trying to do is talk. The time is over for discussion. Something like that. And the cancel culture, it finally comes around to bite them in the ass. And now look at them complaining. Just ignore the FCC. Yeah, I'll work on it, but...
And obviously Charlie wasn't safe.
Yeah, also UK recognized the Palestinian state. That's pretty sick. Who does Fox News bring to talk about it? Ben fucking Shapiro.
So I think that a lot of the feelings of insecurity and vulnerability, sure, you have amazing security, but if we live in a country where we all feel, if you speak politically, that somehow you have to look over your shoulder, that's simply not good enough. It's why the entire nature of the...
Yeah. Keir Starmer, I'm pretty sure just said that. At least that's
debate in the
what
country
I
has
saw.
to change.
Thank you, Ben. And if you could hang on for just a few minutes, Ben is going to join us again for the end of the show from Charlie.
Look at all these stinky people living in trash. Or what? Oh, those flowers? What are they trying to show here?
Kirk's memorial service next.
Exclusive. Trump sounds off on Kimmel. Dead network. Keir Stalin. Again, it's like when Hassan says fucking Holocaust Harris. And then is like, oh guys, we have to do coalition building. We can't be infighting right now. Destiny saying that I'm a stinky boy while this is all going on is bad. It's like, bro, you didn't help. You were calling her Holocaust Harris. Like, come on. What do you think? Ugh. Christ. Oh my. Alright, what else is on the docket? This was a surprise. There's an hour-long Trump speech, which I can soy rage about. What do you mean, alt? With his stormtroopers? That's fine. Bannon Kelly, I feel like, would be actual rage bait. So let's do this Trump speech. Also, I'm learning Markdown. Look at these embedded links. Huh? Isn't this kind of... I'm getting there. I'm learning how to navigate Obsidian a bit better.
Song. I love Ben too.
Huh?
That song. I love Ben too.
I thought he said I love men too.
Or I wouldn't be here. I had.
Why was it announced on X? Dude. Don't ask me.
That thing tonight, they said Ben is being honored, and I just got back from Europe, as you know, and we had a great time. But I've been doing this for 4 nights in a row, and they do it very well, as you probably noticed. It's great.
Also, if you want some lefty infighting, we do have a Vosh segment coming up later, so...
But I never thought, Ben was expecting a call that I wouldn't be coming tonight, but I never even thought of that. But I did try and get out of the tuxedo, I will say that.
Ben?
Because I'm getting ready and I'm just about set to go, and they say, sir, it's black tie tonight. I said, you gotta be kidding. So I said, do you think Ben would mind if I showed up in other than black tie? They said, he'd be fine with it, sir. I said, no. He's a man that I respect too much to do
Carson.
that. And so I put the damn tuxedo on, and here we are.
Trump in a tuxedo is a little fucking terrifying.
Very special.
All right.
So I'm thrilled to be here with so many friends and just...
Okay, last time I paused it. I'm going to be a bit better about not being distracted while we watch things.
Distinguished guests to support the phenomenal organization, the American Cornerstone Institute, dedicated to life, liberty, community, and faith. And that's Ben and Candy, frankly. Incredible family. I especially want to thank the extraordinary patriot, American Cornerstone founder, Dr. Ben Carson. We know him as Ben, but he's doctor.
May
he's a great
Allah
doctor,
awaken
one of the
the
best.
people and help them to see the evil doings of Israel and the United States.
This is not staying on topic.
May Allah awaken the people and help them to see the evil doings.
Is this an AI or is this an actual quote just taken out of context, like he's making fun of someone?
Of Israel and.
Thanks for sharing.
And especially I'd like to thank Candy, because I've known Candy for a long time, and she's the rock behind that man. She's the rock.
The Rock?
Wherever you are, Candy. These lights are brutal, but that's okay. I know you're out there, Candy, and we love you. And
no, I think it was just out of context.
There you are. Thank you. They're rough lights tonight, Candy. They wanted to do this. They wanted to do a little torture on Trump. Let's put those lights right in his eyes. But I also want to wish Ben a very happy birthday. I won't ask how many years, because we don't like talking about that. And personally congratulate the recipient of this year's ACI Founders Award to Susie Wiles. Susie? Where's Susie? There you are. Not only is Susie the first female White House Chief of Staff, that's really surprising. I thought there'd be like a few, none. But it's in history, she's the first. She's also the best. Today. I will tell you that she's the best.
The Rock of Power, too.
She makes problems go.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I don't know. I was thinking about doing like making a channel in the Discord where I just sit all of stream and drag people in and out of. But I don't. Again, I'm not a good debater, so I don't know how that would go.
Away. Now, when I say that, I'll knock on wood, because she makes problems go away. She's the most powerful woman anywhere in the world, they said. I read that today someplace, Susie. One phone call and countries can disappear. But she's not that type of a person. But she is. I believe she is the most powerful woman in the world. That's pretty good, right? We're also delighted to be joined by Secretary of Energy, Chris Wright, and there's nobody better than Chris. Chris? Thank you, Chris. He's great. What a combination those two are. I'll tell you, between Chris and Doug, what a combination. It's unbelievable. Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, Scott Turner. Thank you, Scott. Thank you. By the way, a strong recommendation of Ben. He said, you know, Ben did such a great job with that.
Can we go, Soy? I have to
And,
look up Trump's old
I would have
comments
given it
about
to
Ben
Ben, but
Carson.
Ben said, I've had it. I want other things to do.
Is that too, Soy?
But, and he's gone on to some very important things, but he said the best guy is Scott Turner. And I said, that's okay with me, right, Scott? And he's been fantastic. A friend of mine for a long time, ambassador to NATO, Matt Whitaker. Hey, Matt, they have to stop buying oil from Russia, Matt. Will you talk to those? Will you talk to them, please? The Europeans are buying oil from Russia. It's not supposed to happen, right? Matt won't let it happen much longer, but that's not good.
Actually, fuck it.
CMS Administrator, Dr.
This is a relatively pro-AI stream. Fuck it, I'm going to Gemini.
Mehmet Oz. Oz, where's Oz? How are we doing on favored nations, Oz? Next week, okay, favored nations. We're going to be reducing drug prices down to a level that nobody, not by 20%, 30%, by like 1,000%, because, you know, we're paying sometimes 10 times more than other nations. And we're not doing it anymore. It's been going on for a long time. There was a deal with drug companies and nations.
Okay, they got it.
How to take advantage of the United States. You're going to see the biggest cuts in drug prices, which is going to be great for every aspect. Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security.
Fucking hell. This has been like such a circular thing. I forgot why I even started looking into PBMs. It's because of this fucking drug price thing. Shit, okay. If this is actually moving forward, it might actually be a decent excuse to continue on the PBM stuff.
Security, everything. It's going to have numbers. I mean, we're going to literally be cutting prices by 500%, 600%.
Oh, nice.
Drugs that sell for $88 in London.
Wait, hold on. Cutting drug prices by 500% or 600%? Huh?
London is selling for $130. Drugs that selling prices by 500%, 600%. Drugs that sell for $88 in London is selling for $130. You know what? Think of it. $1,300 for, I call it the fat killer. I don't know if it works or not, but
okay, this is
it didn't work for a friend of mine who called me. He
no,
said,
I understand
he's
what
a
he's
very
saying,
successful guy, seriously obese.
Remember how much of a fucking shitstorm there was in conservative media when Biden flipped up some number? And meanwhile, you have Trump saying 500, 600%, $130 for a drug? Can you believe it's $1,300? Huh?
Seriously, highly neurotic, but a brilliant businessman.
And this is
You
also
need those
word for word
qualities
the same
sometimes,
thing
you know?
you said last time.
And he
you
calls
mentioned
me
this
up. He used to
guy.
call me Donnie. Donnie. Now he calls me president, so he's come a long way. But he was in a hotel and he was in London. And he sent down for, I guess it's Ozempic, which we call the fat drug. And he lives in New York in a beautiful apartment, extremely crude individual. He doesn't mind me saying that, as long as I don't tell his name, because we know a lot of people like him, though. Very successful, fat, neurotic, all the ingredients you need for success, right? And he said, President, you know, this is crazy. Doesn't affect him anything, but this is crazy. He said, in New York, I paid $1,300 for this thing, and here I paid $88. I said, what is it? You lose weight. I said, didn't work on you. Okay. Didn't work. But what are you talking? He said,
I've added a channel to the Discord called Stinky Streamer, where I'll just drag people in and out of. Just send me a chat if you want to hop in Discord.
$1,300 in London. It's $1,300 in New York. And while that money doesn't bother this guy at all, he's got a lot of money. But the concept bothers him, you know, like, what the hell's going on? And we've all known it's been a secret. Dr. Oz is in charge, and he's a smart, tough guy, and I hope he's going to do the job on it, because it's done. The deal is done, and the drug companies... And they've been, for years, for 20 years, this has been going on for many years, decades. And basically, the United States has been paying for the cost of drugs of other nations. And it's not going on any longer. I called the drug companies. I called one of the best. I won't use the name because he's actually...
Again, it literally comes down to it kind of maps on to first mover versus second mover advantage, right? The U.S., we make the drugs. We do the research. We get the newest, bestest shit first. We pay a hefty premium for that. Europe doesn't do the same amount of innovation. They copy our brand names and they sell it for cheaper. But then, a while after the big fancy brand name, our generics are so fucking cheap. And if I'm remembering what I was researching, I'm sending you, I'm ranting about pharmaceuticals and why it's not, like, this policy doesn't really map on. Dude, I hate these spam texts that are like, "Hi, are you working right now?" Yada yada.
High quality guy, makes about $40 million a year, all cash. And the reason is that they've been able to sell this crap for 40 years. I mean, who the hell can sell that? And for years they've been saying, well, you know, we have to pay for research and development, we have to do this, we have to do that. That's 2%, 1%. But why aren't other countries paying for research and development anyway? And in the end, I said, look, we're not doing it anymore.
Is it true that Kamala Harris's book is actually just shitting on Biden? Or are conservative media channels just nitpicking it?
We want favored nations. I want the same price as other nations pay, which is far lower than us. And I told them the story of my...
Obviously Goku, are you kidding me?
Heavy friend. Because it was so poignant, the way this guy, you know, as a good businessman, he really hit me with it. And I knew it, but
also, Ozempic is not the drug people should be worried about being cheap or expensive. It's, in most cases, people take it as an elective. It's essentially a cosmetic thing. Now, for some, it's not. For some, it's like life-saving and they need it. But, like, I think the big problem is stuff like insulin, no?
They have such incredible lines. That's why they're so highly paid. They were able to get away with it. And this one particular man, one of the biggest, he said, sir, you're right. We had a debate for 30 minutes and I was killing him. He couldn't respond to it. You know, why are we paying 10 times more than another country? Right next door we have a country. People go there every month or 2 months to go buy drugs, rich people, because it's such a ridiculous thing. And I said, they're successful, and they get paid all that money because anybody that could sell this is damn good. They're amazing executives, actually. And this guy really did something that was good. He held up his hands. He said, half an hour, he said, sir, I can't do this anymore. I can't sell it anymore. We got to do something about it. It's very unfair to the United States. Isn't that great? Isn't that great? It took him a long time. You know, it took him about 25 years. It took him a long time. And we're not going to do that anymore. And if the nations give us a hard time, we're going to tariff them for the difference. Because, you know, the nations got all over the world. It's the world. We're talking about the entire world. So what's going to happen, Oz, is they're going to go up a little bit because the world is bigger than us. A little bit, like a lot. But it's the world. And it's us. So they're going to go up a little bit. We're going to come down a lot. And it's going to equalize. It's going to be a beautiful thing to watch. It's called favored nations. And we're going to be paying the price that the lowest nation is paying. And we're going to be getting drugs that would cost $80.
I don't think you linked the right website.
Someplace else, and we're paying 10 times that amount. I mean, they have...
I think whatever you sent me was like a home remodeling website.
One pill where it's $8 for the pill, and we're paying $79 for the same pill. And that's not even the worst example. So we have Dr. Oz is in charge of it, and I put him in charge because he's a very smart guy and a great businessman. Went to a wonderful school called University of Pennsylvania. Congratulations, Oz. Great place. Great place. I like it too, but I don't know. Are they?
Would you
coming out?
who is
So?
UN TV. Appreciate the follow, man. Wait, have you been in here before? I feel like I recognize the name.
I wonder how much Harvard's going to end up paying us, right? Going to be a lot of money.
I'm not done
Going to be a
streaming till
lot.
100
Columbia agreed to
followers.
200 million. Others have agreed to mass. You know, what they've done has been terrible. But he went to a great school where I went.
Oh, my soundboard.
And this is going to be earth-shattering. This is not like, you know, we're reducing it. I just one quick story on this because it's so important. It's so big.
Nothing
it's going
has
to
become cheaper. Oil went energy prices went down. Oh, okay. They went down temporarily, but now they're rising again. And the reason he was able to cite quote unquote low inflation was because energy prices tanked. I forget why. I should know that offhand. But every other sector was up huge amounts. Dude, I hate this.
Incredible for every one of our different programs, especially Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security, everything. But just, you know, if you look at it, I've been looking at this for years. And at the end of my first term, I was so proud. I was so foolish and proud because I was the first president in 32 years who actually brought drug prices down. So I brought them down for the year.
Healthcare arc.
So the first time that this has happened in, I think it was 32 years, a long time, where the drugs started out at X and they went down during the course of the year. So after a 12-month period. And I was so proud of myself, I called a news conference. I said, ladies and gentlemen, I want to let you know that this is the first time this has happened in the history of our country for 32 years, I guess, but maybe longer than that. I'm proud to announce that drug prices for the year have gone down. And the people stood up. You know, the fake news couldn't care less. And they didn't get much of a charge out of it. But a couple of people went like this. Because I announced the amount, it was 0.25%. I was so proud. But now I'm going to bring them down 1,300%. Think of this.
I actually think I will be the healthcare streamer. That's the plan.
1,000%, 500%, 200%, whatever, different. And I'm really proud of that. But at the time, I thought it was wonderful. I actually did something that wasn't done. I didn't think it was just a tiny little cut. But it was something at the time. But after getting to know the system is quite a system. And it's run by very brilliant people on the other side. And we're not going to let that happen anymore. We're not going to be the hospital for the rest of the world. We're going to take care of our country first, and we're going to help other countries also and other places. We have a lot of money coming in because of tariffs.
That statement just doesn't work.
The hospital for the and we're not going to let that happen anymore. We're not going to be the hospital for the rest of the world. We're going to take care of our country first, and we're going to help other countries also and other places. We have a lot of money coming in because of tariffs. You know, we have a lot of money coming in because of tariffs. If it wasn't for tariffs, we'd have a big problem. But fortunately, we've been able to stop the world from taking advantage of us through their use of tariffs, right? Sort of interesting, but also
another big overarching theme. So I think some of the big things are disparate information environments and zero-sum game versus I don't know, collaborative. Like the fixed pie idea just isn't how economics works. Like, it's not one-to-one give and take. There is mutual benefit. I think having the fixed pie ideology is so just corrosive to the world, our country. Ugh.
So here's FDA Commissioner. He's going to be working with us on this. Marty McCary, who's fantastic, who's done amazing. He's done great. Thank you. He's done great. He's really amazing. And they're really working on it with Bobby. They're working on it. Bobby's so non-controversial. I wish we could get somebody who's a little bit more exciting in there.
Just general xenophobia.
And, but they're doing something. And I think we have, frankly, that's a big announcement. I think we have a bigger announcement coming. I hope on Monday, Marty. It's enough. We have to announce. We have to make the announcement. It's so big. We can't let people keep doing this. I don't want to wait any longer. We don't need anything more. And if it's wrong, it's right. It's not going to be wrong. But if it is wrong, it's fine that we have to do it.
It really is.
Because we're going to have an announcement on autism on Monday. Got to be Monday. I don't want to do it Tuesday, Wednesday.
No. Oh no! What kind of crackpot ass science is gonna come? Oh no! They're doing an announcement on autism tomorrow. Oh no! What the fuck bullshit are they gonna say? And not even what are they gonna say? What regulations or advisements are gonna be tied to that? Oh shit! This could be bad.
Thursday, and I think it's going to be a very important announcement. I think it's going to be one of the most important things that we will do. Because what's happened with autism, do you know that if you go back 15 years, maybe a little bit longer, it was 1 in 10,000 children had autism.
Do I even need to explain
it's hard to believe that this is correct.
Diagnoses, bring up
that
the
as of
left-handed
recently, it was
percentage
1 in 10 boys. Is that pretty correct, Marty and Oz? 1 in 10.
Oh my God, Doctor.
1 in 12. 1 in 12. Think of it. 1 in 10,000. Before that, it was 1 in 20,000. But it was 1 in 10,000. Let's say 16, 17 years ago. And now it's 1 in 12 boys, and girls are slightly higher. Not much, but they're slightly higher.
Yes.
It's so horrible. It's so horrible. And I think we have
Just let me
the
open
answer.
the fucking picture.
And I think it's going to be very strongly given, and we're going to do it on Monday. I'd like to do it tomorrow. Tomorrow we're honoring a great man.
Yeah, and they didn't understand that autism was like a spectrum and all that. You had to be like, I don't know if there's there is probably a tactful way to say it, but not that soy. It's like you had to be like mega autistic for them to be like, yep, something's wrong. I'd say like more than half of the spectrum of autism were just called, he's a bit quiet, he's a bit weird, but that's it. Like, just, yeah, it's the left-handed.
However, Charlie Kirk, we're honoring somebody that's been with us right from the beginning.
Yes.
Right from the beginning he's been with me. He had an army, and he loved what we were doing so much. He was such a great guy. He'd say, President, could you come tomorrow and make a speech? I said, tomorrow. I said, Charlie, I'm president. I mean, you gotta give me a little notice.
The same anecdotes.
He said, well, would it be possible they'd love to see you? Usually I try.
The only novel thing we've gotten from this is that there's going to be some mystery announcement on autism tomorrow. So, oh God.
I had to do it too. He was unbelievable. He had just an army of young people. They loved him so much. I mean, they're devastated right now.
Like, dude, Bobby Kennedy being up there saying like saying autistic people can't function and all that is insanely ignorant. Like autism is a very prevalent thing, and for a ton of people, it's not even like debilitating. It's not like it's like you have to be on the far end of the spectrum before it's like seriously like you can't do anything. Like it just pushes this like it makes it more stigmatized. Dude, it's sad times. And I feel bad for people because very common thing, and having all of it be demonized is fucking ridiculous. By fucking Dr. Oz and RFK.
Everybody's devastated. So we're going tomorrow, and we're going to be flying in, and we're going to say some little words, but there are no words to really describe what happened. It should never have happened to him. He's a good person. Nobody deserves that, but he really did deserve that. I want to also thank Representatives Beth Van Dyne and Rich McCormick very much, and Virginia Attorney General Jason Meyers. Thank you very much, Jason. Thank you. Thank you. Good job. Talking about other law enforcement people in Virginia. You know that, right?
Well, hey,
I had
best
one
of luck
that
with
was
that.
endorsed so strongly by 2 Democrat senators that I said, I don't want that person.
Yeah, like pushing this.
You know, when you get too strong an
ignorant
endorsement from
view
the
that it's-
Democrats and not very strong from the Republicans, you say there's something.
If you have it, you can't.
There's
do
something I
anything,
don't
and if
like
you
about
don't,
it. Does
you're
that
all
make
good.
sense to anybody? Who knows? But we got to follow our instincts, right? And a very good friend of mine, Bob Unanaway, who is just a great. He's a popular guy. I'll tell you. I heard backstage and Bob's going to be getting a big award very soon from me, and I'm really looking forward to that. And I'm going to announce it over the next week or so. But it's very important. And you know, he was incredible. Right in the middle of the heat when we were going, they were going after. They wanted to impeach Trump, which they did twice, failed both times. They wanted to indict Trump. They did that too 5 times. They wanted to do everything, and this guy was right there, and he was Hispanic, to put it nicely. He was Hispanic.
It'd be funny
And
if
he
it weren't
didn't care. He was with me all the way, weren't you? You were with me all the way. All the way, Bob. He never wavered. Neither did Ben. Neither did Ben. And neither did a lot of people in this room, but they were throwing these fake charges out, these radical left charges, these lunatics.
I'm sure
And
we
Bob
can
was
find
there,
stuff
and it was
from
very
the
tough. They said they were going to
2016
destroy his business, and they tried, and his sales tripled. He became rich. Can you believe it? His sales tripled because everybody started buying Goya. Even now, I had Goya last night in the refrigerator. I chose not to have it, but these are minor details. No, I buy it. Can you believe it?
Oh, no.
Because it reminds me of you. He was a brave guy, but I'm going to be announcing an award next week that's going to be great.
He took a knife and he went after a friend and he lunged that knife into the stomach of his friends. But lo and behold, it hit the belt. It hit the belt. And the knife broke. Give me a break. Give me a break. Give me a break. The knife broke. Let me tell you, I'm pretty good at this stuff. So,
Good at this stuff?
somebody hits me with a belt's going in because the belt moves this way. It moves this way. It moves that way. He hit the belt buckle. Anybody have a knife? You want to try it on me?
What the fuck? Okay. First of all, 2016 Trump to now Trump is fucking crazy. It's always a whiplash.
Quite something, and it's an honor of your courage, pure and simple, because you showed great courage. You know, we won this Hispanic way. We did so well with Hispanics. There's never been anything like it. On the Republican side, there's never been anything even close. We won Miami. We won so many different places. And the entire borderline with Mexico and Texas, we won. I got a call from the governor. Do you know, sir? You won every single area on the border of Texas. All Hispanic, 88%, 92%, all these towns. And said you won every one. That's the first time that's happened since Reconstruction. I said, define Reconstruction. Are you talking about the Civil War? He said, yes. It was a little different. I've never heard. That's a term that's a little different. I wanted accuracy. So the Civil War, first time, and we won. But it's because of Bob and people like Bob. And we love you, Bob, and you were great. And thank you very much. And Ben loves you, too, I know.
What? We were talking about the Civil War?
Area on the border of Texas, all Hispanic, 88%, 92%, all these towns, and said you won every one. That's the first time that's happened since Reconstruction. I said, define Reconstruction. Are you talking about the Civil War? He said, yes. It was a little different. I've never heard. That's a term that's a little different. I wanted accuracy. So the Civil War, first time, and we won. But it's because of Bob and people like Bob, and we love you, Bob, and you were great, and thank you very much. And Ben loves you, too, I know that.
I'll pick my
So we're
battles
going to have
in
a
these
big award for you. But as you know, we're here this evening at George Washington's beautiful Mount Vernon, as I've just returned from the magnificent United Kingdom with King Charles and Camilla and the whole group. What a group. They're great people. They're great people. And they really laid it out. They said there's never been, and don't forget, they're really honoring the country. There has never been anything, and they did it for me a number of years ago. It's the first time they've done it twice for a president. That's because it wasn't consecutive. Now, we actually know it was consecutive, okay? If we want to be accurate about it.
All right, still pushing the election
We want to be
line.
accurate. I'll be called a three-termer, but the only problem is I want to be 3 terms, but I don't want the results of the second term, okay? I don't want anything to do with people pouring into our country totally unchecked, and a big problem, but we're getting them out. We have no choice as a country. We have no choice. We're doing better than we've ever done as a country, I believe. But a lot's changed since the days
Fucking
of
Chungus is
President
going
Washington and King George III. But I think that the father of our country would be very pleased and proud to see America strong and respected again. We're very respected again. And I saw that because, you know, I would say the United Kingdom, there's nobody that can do the pomp and ceremony like them. Don't we agree? Although tonight's a very beautiful evening, but I gotta be honest, it's a nice tent. It's a nice tent. I like that building that's 1,400 years old, slightly better. Did you see that, the table? It was like 100 yards, like a length of a football field, in a ballroom that was like this. It was the most, they opened the doors, I said, I've never seen anything like this. But this is a close second.
That's the way to Trump's heart, is a long table.
I didn't see any poles holding the ceiling up yet. Let's see. No, this is beautiful. It's beautiful because of the people. And we had, by the way, everybody was there, every big business leader. That was really that was an amazing event. But it was respect for the country. It was the biggest event they've ever done of its kind. There's never been anything even close. It was. Thank you. I like that guy. I don't know who the hell he is.
Where's the...
I know he's all man. Stand up. Look at this guy. I don't know who the hell he is. I like him. Thank you. I like that voice. I like that voice. Thank you very much. But there could be no more appropriate...
It's like the fucking North Koreans crying when Kim Jong-un starts talking.
Place to hosting the gathering because American Cornerstone Institute exists to defend and promote the fundamental values and principles of the American founding. Those are the ideals that our movement...
Also, what a pissing on Washington's grave to invoke his name as he's dismantling all of the separation of powers, checks and balances. It's disgusting.
Administration of defending each and every day. And now our country is thriving like never before. We are, actually. We're thriving. You know, the King of Saudi Arabia said to me when I was over there, you know, sir, 1 year ago you were a dead country. He actually said, that's such a tough, it's tough. But it's true. We were a dead country. We were going to be a non-country. And now we've got the hottest country anywhere in the world. There's no country as hot as we are. Under all 4 years of Biden, only $1 trillion of new investment came into the United States. So that's 4 years, $1 trillion. It's a little less than
Wait
that.
a minute. Is that prices going down under Biden? Trump comes into office and they spike. Oh, man.
Under 8 months of Trump, we've already secured commitments of $17 trillion coming in. Thank you. And if you take the good years that we've had, it's just a small fraction. Think of it. It's going to be more than $17 trillion.
Yeah, we're still above target inflation.
And this is, you know, essentially we're talking about up till that point, 8 months. 17 trillion. There's never been any country that's done anything like that. There's never been, and it's largely because of two things. November 5th, the election, presidential election, but of equal and maybe greater importance. So I guess the ultimate is, if I didn't win, you wouldn't be doing this. But the tariffs are bringing the money in at levels that we've never seen before. It's made us a rich country, and it's made us a powerful country. Because of tariffs and trade, we've been able to stop 7 different wars. Think of it, because I said, well, then you're not going to trade with us anymore. You don't fix yourself up. The stock market has just set another record. I think it's 48 times during this short period of time. We've reached new highs, and mortgage rates, despite a totally incompetent Fed chairman, too late. I call him too late. Jerome, too late, Powell. He's an incompetent guy. But he lowered the other day. Lowered after. Too late. TOO late. But mortgage rates still have hit a 3-year low,
wouldn't be
despite
too late.
a Fed that should have been much lower than he is. But mortgage rate, despite that, think of it. And the country is doing so well. When the stock market hits new highs, it just hit on Friday, the highest it's ever been. We're getting very close to a 50,000 mark on the Dow. That's pretty big, right? Look at all you happy people. I wouldn't want to be in the room if it were the opposite. First of all, the room wouldn't be here. I probably wouldn't be here. And Ben wouldn't be here either. We'd all be sitting home commiserating, right? But think of it, Friday we hit the highest stock price we've ever had on all 3 indexes. The Americans are spending the least amount of their disposable income on gasoline since it's about 20 years. For 20 years, we're spending, and we have the number down. I think we're going to be breaking $2 a gallon for gasoline. Previous administrations slashed the number of new oil and gas leases by 95%. Think of that. The administration, Biden, the auto pen, remember? When in doubt, just give it to the guy operating. The guy who operated the auto pen was president of the United States. And he said he only spoke to Biden.
Oh my God, dude, the only difference is, like, Biden gave the directives and he read the EOs. Trump's auto pen is just Miller and his other cronies and fucking Pete Hegseth. Like, at least whoever was running the auto pen in Biden, if we were just gonna buy that without a shred of doubt, whoever was running the auto pen under Biden was doing a fine job with it. Steve Miller, Pete Hegseth, and all your fucking cronies that are writing your executive orders fucking suck.
Twice, and that was only about how's the weather. So therefore, it's illegal because you're not allowed to do that. You shouldn't use an auto pen anyway. You know, when I sign something about somebody's made a general or somebody's made a secretary of something, other than Oz, who doesn't care so much about formality, but I think it's nice to actually have a signature other than an auto pen.
Sure.
I think the only one he actually signed was Hunter's pardon was actually signed by him. You know how you can tell? It was like chicken scratch. My father's, you want a real signature. This was like chicken scratch, like a little thing. The auto pen looked much better. But you don't do that. You know, you have an obligation. They put these big, beautiful, oftentimes magnificent pieces of very expensive paper, very, very particularly expensive paper and beautiful paper, and you sign it, and you know nobody wants to see. You can tell. I can tell an auto pen immediately. There's usually 2 little pinholes. You know what that's
barely
from?
read.
Pulling the paper. When you see the pinholes, you know it's not too original, unless somebody's using 2 pins to pull it across. But the auto pen is a fraud. It's a fraud. They had people like Lisa Monaco. They had people like Weissman, who wasn't in the administration, but he was pulling her shit.
Bring this up when he wants to, like, overturn some action Biden took. Is that what's coming down the pipeline here? Is that what we can expect? So now that he's ranting about the auto pen again, oh, I guess we must be trying to invalidate something Biden did. Oh, actually, wait. We know exactly what this is. We know what this is leading to. Call me a conspiracy theorist, but so Trump did an accidental truth. God, I love this embedded link thing. Talking about going after Comey, Adam Schiff, Letitia James. And did Biden pardon these people? Who did Biden pardon? Follow me. Siblings, Fauci, J6 panel. Hold on. Do we have a? I'll read a little bit.
Andrew Weissman, bad people. These are bad people.
Do we know if he
bad
pardoned,
people running
like,
our
Adam
country.
Schiff or
That's
any of
why
these
they
people?
allowed all these people to pour into our country totally unchecked
Adam
and
Schiff,
unvetted. They know it wasn't good, but for some reason they hate our country, the Democrats. But I think we're going to have, what we have to do is we have to win the midterms. I don't know why, but when you're president, rarely do you win. I don't know why. We're having one of the greatest presidencies ever. We had a great 4 years, but this is going to blow everything away. And they're saying some say actually it's the most successful presidency so far ever in the history of our country. That should mean.
Who the fuck is telling you? Okay, yeah, whatever.
We win the midterms. But they've had other successful presidents. They've had other successful presidents, and they lose the midterms. It's a very small percentage that win. There's something psychological going on there, baby. But you know, we don't want to see things destroyed. What we've done is so incredible. We have to get out. We have to win the midterms. We should win them. Somehow, nobody can. They've talked to psychiatrists. They've talked to everything. Why is it that almost automatically whoever is president loses the midterm?
Okay,
it
Adam
should be
Schiff.
the opposite. If we
Okay, so yeah, this is why he's probably bringing up the fucking auto pen. It's so you can go after Adam Schiff. Christ.
Have a successful administration, and I really believe, look at what we're going to be announcing over the next couple of days medically, as we said. You'll see what's going to happen on Monday. But between that and favored nations and all the other things we've done, I mean, we should blow everybody away, but I don't know. But I think we will. I mean, I think we will. All we can do is have a real big success, and then you have to get everybody out and vote. And thank you. Also, Jim DeMint is here someplace. I want to thank. He's been a great job.
What am I smoking the fucking crack pipe and thinking that he's going after the auto pen again because he wants to go after Schiff because this DM he meant to send to Pam Bondi but accidentally it's accidentally truthed out? Am I smoking crack, or is that pretty reasonable? I need a sanity check.
Gentlemen, great senator, beautiful wife. Thank you, Jim, for being here. Thank you both for being here. The Trump administration has a different policy on energy, and you know, you've been hearing it because I made a lot of speeches. I didn't take any days off. 120 days. When I was 120 days out, I didn't take any vacations. I didn't take any days off. I went 120 days. I made speeches and did rallies and did everything. And all you heard was drill, baby, drill. We're going to drill, baby, drill. And we did. And we've got, now we're double just about anybody else. And we're really bringing it down. And we want to bring, that will automatically stop the war with Russia and Ukraine. You get the prices down a little bit more, that's going to stop it. I'm very disappointed in President Putin, but you know, they're killing 5,000 people a week, plus anywhere from 5,000 to 7,000 people a week are dying for no reason whatsoever. We've removed an estimated 100,000 unnecessary bureaucrats from the federal government. We're cutting historic numbers of job-killing regulations.
Cutting historic numbers of jobs. Didn't the jobs report come out and that there's like 900,000 less jobs?
And 2 months ago,
hang on,
I signed the largest working class tax cut in American history into law. It includes no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security. That's big stuff. We have to explain the big, beautiful bill. I call it the great, big, beautiful bill. It's unbelievable
it's got
for
more adjectives.
Middle class. It's unbelievable for low income. It's unbelievable for everybody. It's really unbelievable for producing jobs. On the world stage, we're once again putting America first, and that's what we do. We put America. We'll help others, but we have to put America first. Exactly as George Washington would have wanted. He would have voted for us, George Washington. We had a man who rated me the #3 president of all time. He said only superseded by George Washington and Abraham Lincoln. And the host of the show said, "Oh, are you in trouble? Trump is going to be so angry at you when he hears that he's #3. But we'll take that. I don't know how many have done that. He actually said, George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Donald J. Trump. I said, I like that guy very much. You know,
I don't. Has he really trimmed who he surrounds himself with so clean that he can say the most narcissistic statements and everyone just claps along? It's like, yep, this guy is the horse I'm backing.
know who he is. On the world stage, we're once again doing things, and we're just respected at, I think, a level that we've never been respected before. We're forging peace agreements, and we're stopping wars. So we stopped wars between India, Pakistan,
Didn't they just start fighting
Thailand,
again?
and Cambodia, and Thailand. I'll tell you, Thailand was, they were going at it hot and heavy. And these were wars that were not stoppable, most of them. Armenia and Azerbaijan, going on for years. They came to my office, the two leaders, two great guys. One was there 22 years, one was there 7. And they both said during the entire term of their office, all they did was kill people on the other side. And now they're sitting in my office, and they're at the Oval Office. It's pretty wide. And they had one over here, one over there. And slowly, over the course of about an hour, they came close. And at the end of an hour, we were hugging each other and holding hands. It was an amazing thing, and we settled that war. That was not settleable, as the expression goes.
Remember, between, what, Azerbaijan and Albania.
Cambodia and Armenia, it was just starting, and it was
That's
a
what
bad
he
one.
said.
Think of that. We have,
this time.
let's see,
Good for him. He's
Cambodia,
learning.
Armenia. We have Kosovo, Serbia, Israel,
Kosovo. Okay, did I miss?
Iran, Egypt, Ethiopia. That's a beauty. They built a little dam in Ethiopia that's like the largest dam in the world. And it affects water going to the Nile. Would you say that's a problem? I would say that's a big problem. So with all of these things that we've done, think of India and Pakistan. Think of that. And you know how I stopped that? With trade. They want to trade. And I have great respect for both leaders.
Okay. This is just the greatest
But
hits right now.
when you take a look at all of these wars that we've stopped, and they said, so think, just look at that. India, Pakistan, Thailand, Cambodia, Armenia, Azerbaijan, Kosovo and Serbia, Israel and Iran, Egypt and Ethiopia, Rwanda, and the Congo, right? We stopped all of them. And 60% of them were stopped because of trade. Like with India, I said, look, we're not going to do any trade if you're going to fight. And they have nuclear weapons. I stopped. And then I was told that if you can stop Russia and Ukraine, you should get the Nobel Prize. I said, well, what about the 7 others? I should get a Nobel Prize for each one. So they said, but if you stop, think of that. But if you stop Russia and Ukraine, sir, you should be able to get the Nobel. I said, I stopped 7 wars. That's one war, and that's a big one. But all of these, actually, that was the one I thought would be easiest for, because I have a good relationship with President Putin.
No, you
Disappointed
don't.
in him, but I do.
How is he still giving Putin so much fucking slack? He's fucking testing you by pushing NATO. You.
Thought that would be the easiest one, but we'll get it done one way or the other. But I also obliterated Iran's nuclear hopes by totally annihilating their enriched uranium. And I'll tell you what, those planes, those beautiful B-2 bombers, those beautiful, we call them wings, we just ordered 20 more of them, the updated version. We don't need an updated, just give me the same one. The job those pilots did, they flew for 37 hours back and forth. They had to refuel. We had 52 tankers, big tankers. How would you like to be flying a tanker knowing that if you get hit by a little bullet, that's not good things happen to those tankers? Those people are brave. When I met the tanker guys, I had them to the office. We had the pilots, a lot of the pilots, and even the mechanics.
It's impossible. Like, has it ever happened where a modern-ish tanker craft is hit by like a 7.62 round out of an AK, and it just blows up? Whatever. It's nitpicky. It's like, of the grand scheme of stupid shit that's being said in this meeting, that's like insignificant. But
I said, I want the mechanics. But I said to the tanker guys, how do you like flying around with hundreds of thousands of gasoline in that big thing? But they're brave people. They're brave people. But there was no stopping. They
nothing
went,
against
flew,
our soldiers and our.
It's about 17 hours one way, and then they hit at the dark of night with no moon. It was dead, and every single one of those bombs hit its targets. It was absolutely amazing, and they're heroes. And when the pilots went in, they came into the office, and I met them, and they're all great-looking guys. They look like Tom Cruise. Actually, they look like Tom Cruise. But they're all great-looking guys. I would have said Tom Cruise, but, you know, he called me about something recently. He was such a nice guy. I'm not going to say it. I'm just saying he's a hell of a looking guy. But
You know what Tom Cruise called him about, by the way? He said, "I'm not going to receive the Kennedy Center Award from you." Fuck off. So, yeah.
these people are great. But they said, "Sir, you know what? For 22 years, we practiced this mission. Us and our predecessors, we practiced it 3 to 4 times every single year for 22 years, and you're the only president that had the courage to let us go and do our thing." It's very interesting, right? I didn't know that. But we stopped the flood of illegal aliens stampeding across our borders, and for 4 months in a row, the numbers of illegals admitted into the United States is 0. 0. Even I find that hard to believe, but it's made up by very liberal think tank, and I'll take it. But it's 0. It's just about 0. Hard to believe, right? If you look back a year and 2 years, it was millions of people coming across our border from mental institutions, from prisons, drug dealers, gangs, the toughest gangs anywhere in the world. They came from all over. We designated Tren de Aragua, MS-13, and the Mexican drug cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, which nobody else did. And we're hitting them, as you probably noticed, very hard. And we're blowing the Venezuelan narco-terrorists. We're blowing them the hell out of the water. Every time you see a boat,
I saw them annihilate a couple boats. But, like, what's the outcome other than wasting a fuck ton of money?
Thousands of people die from the cargo in that boat. Thousands of people die. And then the radical left say, "Oh, this is not nice." Well, thousands of people are dying because of those boatloads of drugs, fentanyl, and a lot of other drugs. We're restoring law and order to our cities and towns, including our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., where you can now go out to have dinner. That's right, here we are. You can now, what is the difference? I was at a deal today, and I'm in the car, and I said, "Ride me right through Washington. I want to go right." The parks were groomed. There was no trash. There were no tents. We had no tent cities. It was clean. It's going to look even better in 6 months to a year. We're going to change the medians that are rotted. We're going to get rid of the little potholes. But even it looked, Susie, it looked beautiful. It was so different. Nice weather, nice day. The grass was growing. Some of the grass I'm not going to have to change. I thought I was going to replace the grass all over. This grass looked good. It looked so good. Okay. And, you know, we actually had soldiers. You saw them. We didn't tell them to do this because we don't want to tell them. They were picking up trash. Did you see that? They were picking up trash. The National Guard, these great military people, the job they did has been unbelievable. And then, you know, this is a tough argument for them. I would say this is tougher than men playing in women's sports and transgender for everybody. You know, transgender for everybody. But the men playing in women's sports is tough. But, you know, the open borders is a tough one. But the best argument is crime. This is would I like to be running? Would I like to run crime? We don't like crime, and the Democrats obviously love it. How about that?
Yes.
They like crime, we don't. That's all you have to say, a sign. They like crime, we don't. I don't think it's possible to lose an election. I think they said today, they better be careful, this is a Trump trap. It's an 80-20 issue. No, it's a 99-1 issue.
Is it even worth repeating that it's not about the underlying idea, it's less crime. It's about sending the National Guard in, but whatever. Doesn't matter. Doesn't fucking matter.
And we don't know the one person. We can't find that one person, Chris. He's working for Chris in the oil wells. We don't know. But what we've done in Washington, we're so proud of it. We took it over. It was, and you know what? I don't want to insult anybody, but it was horrible. One of the worst. It was horrible. And within 12 days, it was a safe city. And within 22 days, it was really safe. And a couple of days later, I actually went and walked right down the middle of the street.
That's at Among Us.
And I had no fear because we took 1,600 criminals hardened criminals, people, I think they were born to be criminals. These were serious.
That is a terrifying thing to say, by the way. Are we just gonna skip over, yeah, these people were born to be criminals? I feel like that sets a dangerous tone for nature over nurture. Am I just soying out, or born to be criminals? That's pretty bad, but whatever. It implies that there's nothing to be done to help these people from an early age or anything like that. It's that no matter what, they are always born to be evil. That is I feel like that's pretty bad thing to have running around the public conscious. That could just be me. How do I do this? 2 hashtags. Some of these people were born to be criminals. Wait, is that how you do the markdown sizing? 2 hashtags, 2 hashtags? How the fuck? I thought that's how you did sizing and markdown. No? Oh, like that. I see. Okay. That's a fucking crazy quote.
And walk right down the middle of the street, and I had no fear because we took 1,600 criminals, hardened criminals, people. I think they were born to be criminals. These were seriously bad people. We got them out of here. We brought them back to different countries. Got them the hell out. They can't come back. We're never letting them come back. But we're restoring law and order. Now we're going to Memphis, Tennessee. It's another place that's right. Are you happy about that? How about the liberals, though? You know, they call themselves progressives. I think liberal is a better term. Progressive is such a beautiful word. But now they say we're progressive. They're actually regressive. This is not progressive. But how about the liberals where they're going? We don't want to have military people in town. If you had your choice of not having military people, but being shot, drugged out, beat to hell, and raped as a woman.
Sorry. This is the thing. This is like the playbook exemplified to a T. It's, oh, you don't like this overtly authoritarian policy? That must mean you like the worst possible thing ever that we're purportedly trying to avoid. It's like, no, I can support a stronger and better funded and more present police force and also dislike crime without saying, yeah, I want the National Guard in to deport people who were, and I'm quoting Trump here, born to be criminals. I think there's a key difference. Could just be me. I could be fucking woke and soy and all that, but fucking A.
Would you rather have a couple of soldiers around so that doesn't happen? I think so. I'd rather
have more police.
And these soldiers are not necessarily politically correct. They're very strong people, and we want very strong soldiers. I think that's okay to say. You know, we have a very different country than we had 2 years ago. We have a country that wants to see results. We have a country that's now based on merit, thanks to the Supreme Court. We have a country that's based on merit. And our country was built on merit. It wasn't built on woke nonsense. And we now have soldiers that are soldiers, and we have people that everything is based on merit, including getting into a college. If you have good marks, you get in. If you don't have good marks, you don't get in. We're restoring law and order to our cities and towns at levels that nobody's ever seen and waiting to see. And I must say, our next one is a place called Chicago. We're going to go into Chicago. And we've already, the FBI's been there for 6 months, and,
And you get to see the slot machine in real time.
And just getting prepared, and just the fact that they've been there for a little while, we've got it down a little bit, but it's going to come down a whole lot. Chicago is going to be a very safe city. I was with the head of the Union Pacific Railroad, great guy who started off as a low-level railroader, as he called himself, and he ends up being chairman of the company. And I said, what do you think? Tell me. What? He was in my office on something. And I said, what do you think? One of the best cities. He said, sir, you have to save Chicago. It's a great city. And the way he said it, you have to save Chicago. I mean, it was terrible because we were going to wait a little longer. You know, we have a governor that doesn't, he thinks if 11 people get shot over a weekend, that's good. Okay? He thinks, and die. 11 people last weekend murdered over the weekend. 32 were shot.
Over this.
Over 100
I still
were shot
cannot, but I will not get over the "some people were born to be criminals" comment.
People don't even talk about that. And then we have a governor that says, we're doing well. We don't need the military. No, they need it. We're going to clean up Chicago. We're going to start that pretty soon, but we're going to do Memphis. We're doing them one by one. And we're not going to let it go back either. We're not going to just leave and let it go back. We're going to make sure they stay proper. But if you, I'm so happy that, you know, most of you.
Sorry, saying the National Guard is just going to be like an ever-present thing?
And we're not going to let it, going to do Memphis. We're doing them one by one. And we're not going to let it go back either. We're not going to just leave and let it go back. We're going to make sure they stay proper. But if you, I'm so happy that, you know, most of you are in Washington a lot. That's why you're here.
Wow. We're doing permanent. We're doing
Washington, D.C. is a
just
safe,
permanent occupation of
incredible, safe place.
Okay.
It went from one of the most violent, unsafe cities in the country where, on average, they were losing a person. They were having 1, 2, 3 people get shot every weekend. People come in from Iowa, they come in from Indiana, they come, their kids are come, and the kid ends up being shot, and they send him back in a coffin. That's not happening anymore. We have a safe city. The scum is gone, and I'll tell you, it's going to get, I don't know how much better it can get. They said, we're down 87% crime. I said, really? Who are the 13%? Tell me. Nobody can find the 13%. No, you go and have dinner. People, the restaurants now, they were closing up. Very few people went to restaurants because even to go to the restaurant was dangerous because guys would walk in with guns and rob everybody. It ain't happening anymore. You have a safe city, 100% safe city. And I want to thank the National Guard and all of those federal law enforcement people that have surged Washington are now surging Memphis right now as we speak. By the way, we're getting calls over the internet. We're getting statements. Sir, thank you so much. I live in Memphis. It's so beautiful. There's so many people
are they
outside.
in Memphis?
Everybody's cheering the soldiers. They're cheering. Thank you so much, sir. But we're making America safe again. And just to conclude, I signed an executive order to slash federal funding for any school that pushes transgender insanity onto our youth.
Wait, okay, so they're not even in
Which I
Memphis
promised during the campaign.
yet?
We also banned the chemical and...
Okay, so they're not in Memphis yet, but Trump's getting calls talking about how great it is that they're in... Okay, cool. So we're just... I don't know why I'm shocked that we're just lying now, but yeah, why not?
Surgical mutilation of children. Can you imagine? Could you imagine? Let's say 15 or 20 years ago, you're a politician, and you say, we've banned the chemical and surgical mutilation of your children. Could you imagine having to make a statement like that? People would say, what the hell is he talking about? Right? Can you imagine that, Chris? You make a statement that you're going to not mutilate their children? Who would think that? But different times. Well, we've banned it. We don't let that happen. As you know, we've very strong. Everyone's now we're just about there. It's hard to believe it was hard to do. Here's another one. Could you imagine saying this 20 years ago, 10 years ago? We got men out of women's sports. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice?
Okay, it's like... it's a 4-figure number. It's... Percent... What's SE? Am I stupid? Whatever.
You ever see the weightlifter? The weightlifter? You break a record by 114 pounds, you know, a record that stood for 18 years got broken by 114 pounds. You know. The whole thing is crazy. These people are crazy. And we're going to have a hard time.
Oh, don't worry. If you get beaten by a trans person, you can become a right-wing grifter so easily. That's the pathway. It's just like getting canceled. Oh, my God.
Because no matter what, if they got every dream, every single thing that they ever wanted, which are all bad things, nobody would want them, non-common sense things, they won't extend anything. They won't vote. You won't get a single vote. The only thing I do respect them for one thing, they stick together. But their policies are so bad and so sick, and they're afraid to be individuals. They just go with whatever the party tells them to go, and it's all this stuff
That is such
you can't get elected with it. So
the huge complaint about the Dems is that there's no central message. There's like 800 different factions at each other's throat at any given time, whereas the Republicans are like in lock fucking step. Like, it's a huge deal when one or two Republicans vote separately from what Trump wants, even on patently ridiculous shit. It's projection. What do you want me to say?
we had a great vote in the House. The Republicans voted good to extend. But the Senate, we need 60 votes. We have 53 senators. So, you're going to have...
shut down the government.
We have a problem because these people are crazy. The Democrats, they have a serious case of what's known as, which is actually a disease, I think. They're going to put it down. Are they going to list that? Dr. Oz, are they going to list, you know what I'm talking about, right? Trump derangement syndrome. Is that... Why don't we list that on Wednesday? Let's do the more important ones first. No, it's a serious disease. It's a mental disorder. Trump derangement. Yeah, that's right. It's a mental disorder. Trump derangement syndrome, and they've got it.
Wait, does that mean I can apply for disability? Actually, wait, this might be awesome.
Been seen before, but that's good. That means we're doing the right thing. I made it the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders. I think Jim DeMint will like this.
Whatever.
Men and female. Are you okay with that, Jim? I don't know. I think Jim's very upset about that. Who the hell can be upset? We got rid of the sinister Johnson.
Thank you for bringing this to my attention. I had no idea. Also, who else would you be talking to? Who wants the U.S. empire to die in Afghanistan? Yeah, I was gonna look into, maybe I'll do that after this speech. Like, going in and retaking a, fucking airport that we gave to Afghanistan. Dude, I read a book, about a journalist who was in Afghanistan when the Soviets invaded, and he was just talking with Taliban or like Mujahideen. He was talking with Soviet soldiers. Holy shit! And what's that like pathway that's in a valley between Afghanistan and I think Pakistan? I mean, the U.S. empire won't get broken. We'll just lose lives unnecessarily and probably not achieve our goals, or at least at a heavier cost than is warranted. I gotta look more into it, but yeah, no. I think, wasn't it Trump was the one who gave the Taliban that airbase? Yeah, that's why I need to do my homework to do that. Maybe I'll have Gemini do a debate with me.
Amendment so that pastors can speak the truth. Not only pastors, people of religion can speak the truth. Everything in their heart. I also ended the weaponization of law enforcement against religious believers, as you know.
I don't doubt it.
And pardoned the pro-life activists thrown in jail by the very angry, mean Biden. You know, Biden was always a mean guy, but never a smart guy. You know, even you go back 30 years ago, 40 years ago, he was a stupid guy, but he was always a mean son of a bitch, you know? How's it working?
I know, right?
Not working too well for him right now, as it says. So when you start feeling sorry for him, remember, he was a bad guy.
Okay, by the way, thrown in jail is different than imprisoned. Which violates federal laws like the FACE Act and the conspiracy against rights charges thing. Hey, Zigo. I thought.
Would you shut up, man? Listen, who is?
Hey, thanks for the follow. Again, wait, I thought you followed yesterday. Oh no, wait, sorry, this was inappropriate. I'm tripping. First time chat. Oh, you got banned for 7? Dare I ask why? You don't have to say. Okay. Okay. Zigo, I'm not doing the... I was reading more about the Serbia Kosovo stuff. Yeah, you're pretty close. And yeah, we absolutely should have helped Kosovo. Oh, yeah, okay. Well, that's... Okay, yeah. I mean, anti-fascist... Bunch of sources. I don't know. I'm not reading whatever source you want. I'm not... Bro, you... gargle Russian propaganda, okay? If you're coping about NATO equipment, like, you are so far lost. Yeah, no, it's literally... So Antifa in the US was a movement that was... It's not Russia... Okay. Dude, okay. I'm gonna give you a timeout. After that, if you bring up Serbia, I'm not having you in this stream. I'm tired of it. Just... Oh. We get these trolls? No, okay, well, maybe there was, like, Republicans trolling about what even is Antifa? Antifa's not real. But I don't know. Yeah, no, it's just it was just a movement. Like, it was bigger in 2016. But it basically would just go to Berkeley University or, like, college campuses and then say we're anti-fascist. That was kind of it. I mean, they got into fights with counter-protesters, but it wasn't like a centralized, organized anything. Unless I'm missing some critical lore, I really don't think it was that big of a deal. It was just like a scapegoat for the right to point at and be like, look at these crazy liberals. Which... I don't know. If I'm missing something, someone can fill me in, but at least from what I remember, that's kind of it.
I created the first ever Department of Justice task force to eradicate anti-Christian bias. And we're bringing religion back to our country. Religion is coming back to our country because you can't be a great nation if you don't have religion. I really believe that.
All right, nice. We're bringing religion back. We're like, some people are born to be criminals. We're keeping the National Guard in these cities permanently. Awesome. Okay, cool, nice. Fucking hell.
Gotta be something we're doing this for. And to support parents' rights, we're also fighting very hard for school choice. We just got it in the great state of Texas with the governor and lieutenant governor. And we've created a massive tax credit for school choice scholarships so that you can send your child to a school that shares your values.
Like,
it's
what do
a
we
big
do
thing,
here?
School choice. I want to congratulate the American Cornerstone Institute, very important, on the Little Patriots program. That's a great program which is devoted to ensuring that young people are taught to love America as much as we do. We love America, or we wouldn't be here tonight. I certainly wouldn't be in a tuxedo tonight. And as you know, next year we'll be celebrating the 250th anniversary of the American founding, 250 years. It doesn't seem so long when you have William the Conqueror. I said, Windsor Castle, when was it built? Sir, around 990. I'd say 909. Let's see. Trying to figure that one out. 990. So it's like, it's like really old. I thought the White House was old. So the White House is 1799. Okay?
Breaking news. The President of the United States discovers that the UK is old.
That's pretty old, right? But
being a bit of a shitter,
190. It's and the name of the king at the time was William the Conqueror. I said, that's the coolest name I've ever heard. William the Conqueror. And he built this massive, massive castle, and he was known for winning wars. It's very interesting. In fact, I asked King Charles, why do we call you Charles the Conqueror? He said, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. But he's a great guy, and he's doing a great job, an unbelievable job. But the 250th anniversary, we're in it, and it's something we're going to have a year that few people have seen before, with the help of the incredible men and women like those here.
Reminds me of home. Dude, I don't know what fucking reality he's based in. It's certainly not Earth. I don't know. It's disheartening if you take it. Well, I mean, you have to take it seriously because it's the fucking president. Who was in here yesterday that said Trump would be a great Facebook uncle if he wasn't the fucking president of the United States? Was that Googly that said that?
Tonight, and everybody here is excited about it. We're ensuring that when that anniversary does come, our country will be a very strong, proud country. We're not going to have Afghanistan events, the most embarrassing event in the history of our country. Our people will be proud, our communities will be safe, our culture will be thriving, we'll be respected all over the world. We are right now. No, I said it before, we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. And America will be freer, greater, and more successful than ever before. And remember that we also have the Olympics. We have the Olympics and we have the World Cup. And I got both of them. I was very proud to get both of them. I got them both. And then what happened is I said, as I got Johnny from the World Cup. He's great. The head guy, he's a great guy. And the Olympics, I dealt with the people because Obama wouldn't do it. He went there. And he came in fourth place.
The one we're talking
he
about?
was very angry at them, so he wouldn't talk. Okay. And actually, Democrats called up, would you speak to the people in Brussels, wherever they were? And I did. It was like I couldn't get him off the phone because nobody would speak to him from our country. I thought getting the Olympics was important. We got the Olympics, we got the World Cup. But as I got him, I realized that they wouldn't be in my term because, they're usually 8 years out, 10 years out, 6 years out. And my term was coming up, and I thought I'd win the election quite easily, which I did. I ended up winning it by a lot. Actually, they don't even fight. The cameras used to turn off. How dare you say that? But now they don't. They say, even the crazy ones, they say, well, it's actually right.
What? Wait, I was...
Which I did. My term was coming up, and 8 years out, 10 years out, 6 years out. And my term was coming up, and I thought I'd win the election quite easily, which I did. I ended up winning it by a lot. Actually, they don't even fight. The cameras used to turn off. How dare you say that? But now they don't. They say, even the crazy ones, they say, well, it's actually right. But I said, it's funny how God can make things end up. And I said, boy, I'll tell you, it's unbelievable. I got the Olympics, pure and simple. I got the World Cup because the head person's a great friend of mine. I got the World Cup and the Olympics, and I'm not going to be president when we have it.
Well, it's just great for Trump to brag about getting the most corrupt organization on the planet.
And look what happened. They screwed me on the second election, and I got it in the third. And lo and behold, we not only have the 250th, we have the Olympics and the World Cup. So you never know how things are going to turn out. But I want to thank everybody for being here. I want to congratulate American Cornerstone Institute. It's been amazing, the job that Ben's done. And I have one final thing to say, and this is maybe outside of what I said medically, and watch what's going to happen next week.
Uh-oh.
But outside of that, this is the most important. And he's a
Okay, remember, there's some big announcement on autism coming tomorrow, which is what he started with. I don't know if this is soy or not, but I'm a little scared for what's about to come out of his mouth. I didn't pre-watch this.
part of the medical, too, because he's truly a great doctor. But we are going to be presenting Dr. Ben Carson with the highest civilian award and honor
That's pretty sad.
in our country.
Or tame,
It's the civilian version of the Medal of Honor, which is our highest military award. It's the Presidential Medal of Freedom, and we're going to have a ceremony at the White House honoring Dr. Ben Carson, the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Congratulations, Ben. Congratulations. And everybody, thank you very much. We much appreciate it.
Well, what did we learn from that? There's some new fucking shit that they're gonna say about autism. Yeah, why not? I'll take a look at it. I was kind of on and off about covering it, but I feel like it'd be a good thing to just check in out on. Is there anything before right now?
And the ugliness that was been revealed by Charlie's murder
I'm singing.
Will be and is already being overcome by the beauty of the outpouring of love and prayer around the world. Seas of 1,000 candles that have been lit from coast to coast. For Charlie's sacrifice for all of us, we will overcome their evil.
And
Charlie's
share the love thing attached to your name.
And Charlie's sacrifice has given us all, and I see it in your eyes. I see it in the eyes of every man, woman, and child who has come to me since this unspeakable evil happened. We have it now. Charlie gave it to us. He gave us that last bit of courage, that last bit of fight, that last bit of grit and resolve to say no more. We are done. We are done with all of it, and we will now stand and fight, because if you took Charlie Kirk off that line, then every single one of us will rise up, and we will replace that line, and we will be there, and we will remind them what they did for Charlie, what they did to Charlie, and we will never, ever let them forget the name Charlie Kirk. Our civilization will endure. The United States of America will endure. For Charlie, we will continue the mission. For Charlie, we will end the evil disease that split us and took Charlie from us. And for Charlie, Turning Point USA will last forever.
Okay, I mean...
And we will come to find... We will come to find that in the final moment, that Western civilization was saved through Charlie's sacrifice in the only way possible, by returning the people to Almighty God.
Okay. This is
For greater love hath no man than this.
Am I
than
too
he
soy, or
who
is
laid
this
down his
fucking
life
nuts?
for his friends.
Has this ever
Are you
happened
ready
for a
to
political
continue the
pundit
mission?
before?
Are you ready to fight back? And are you ready to put on the full armor of God and face the evil in high places and the spiritual warfare before us? Then put on the full armor of God. Do it now. Now is the time.
I feel like this isn't toning down the
This is the place. This is the turning point for Charlie. God bless to all of you. God bless to everyone to Charlie's family, to all the families. And Charlie,
dude, we need Destiny to sneak in here.
till we meet again, brother.
As a speaker. Oh, Trump's there. Come on. Okay. Well, that's fun. We'll wait for the next thing.
Please welcome to the stage, Frank Turek.
The abrupt and ceremonious closure of Bagram
Erica
Air Base.
wanted me to share with you what happened after that shot rang out on.
All right, I'll probably stop in and out of this, but I don't know if I want to listen to the too much of this. What else do we got? I know Trump had a press gaggle for this. But I want to watch this.
Mr. President! Mr. President! Mr. President! Hello! Hi!
Dude, oh, God.
Are you criticizing Cambodia?
No, I just want people to act. They have to act. And we want to act fast. You know, they were ruthless and vicious. I was impeached twice. I was indicted 5 times. It turned out to be a fake deal. And we have to act fast. One way or the other. One way or the other. They're guilty, they're not guilty, we have to act fast. If they're not guilty, that's fine. If they are guilty or if they should be charged, they should be charged. And we have to do it now.
Did you see the reporting on Tom Homan accepting? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I consider myself a Christian. Like, I wasn't like in church every weekend. Like, I still consider myself Christian. But that stuff is nuts. That's like, I know it's like the fucking wokest thing ever. Be like, that's actually like the Empire in Star Wars. But I don't know if, I mean, someone can correct me on this. I don't know if in the U.S. we've ever seen anything like that for a political pundit, right?
For the UN, can you say which leaders you're going to meet with at the UN?
I'm going to meet with a lot of the leaders at the UN, but probably 20. Everybody wants to meet, but I'm one person. But we're going to meet with quite a few of the leaders.
Anyone specifically?
Well, I'm going to meet with some of the majors.
Anybody from your administration pressure ABC to suspend Jimmy Kimmel?
No, not at all. I think Jimmy Kimmel's terrible. You know what suspended him? His talent. You know what else is really what? Take a look at this guy, his ratings. That's what got Jimmy Kimmel out.
Yo, please, for the love of God, drop the Serbian stuff. It's a U.S. domestic politics channel.
He was terrible. And didn't he lose? I saw a report where ABC lost millions of dollars with him. So that's what suspended Jimmy Kimmel.
Have you been briefed about Estonia and how you're going to respond to Russia?
No, I haven't been briefed on it yet.
Mr. President, you don't like you meet with Democrats.
Suspended Jimmy Kimmel.
Have you been briefed about Estonia and how you're going to respond to Russia?
No, I haven't been briefed on it yet.
Mr. President, you don't like you meet with Democratic leaders to talk about how to avert a shutdown?
Well, I will, but they don't care about crime. They want to keep men and women's sports. They want all this stuff. They don't change. They haven't learned from the biggest beating they've ever taken, just about.
Sorry, brother. Don't support ethnic cleansing here. See you around.
I'd love to meet with them, but I don't think it's going to have any impact.
Mr. President,
But you will, sir? But you will, sir? You will meet with Democratic leaders?
I'd love to meet with them if they want to meet.
Could you don't like be grounds for losing a broadcast license?
Well, I think when a network is dishonest, certainly if they are dishonest because they give you 97% bad publicity or whatever it is, some ridiculous number, yeah, I would say that would be ground. Yeah.
So are you asking Brett to on the ground to get Bagram back?
We won't talk about that. But we're talking now to Afghanistan, and we want it back, and we want it back soon, right away. And if they don't do it, if they don't do it, you're going to find out what I'm going to do.
So you want President Carter to...
Will they sign a deal on TikTok? And
well, we're moving along. We have great American patriots that are buying it. Very, very substantial people that love our country.
So just like the broadcaster knows the information is false. Is there a certain voting machine company that a certain news station might have been knowingly lying about?
And they're very smart technologically, and they will not let anything bad happen to TikTok.
on the 7th seat, sir, will there be an American on that 7th seat on the TikTok board? There's 6 seats for Americans. What nationality will that 7th seat be?
Well, we're going to see. We're going to announce that over the next week, who the 7th will be.
Mr. Fisher. Are you tired of winning yet?
Not that tired. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your service. Thank you, sir.
All right, well that's fun. I had to do some moderation stuff. Cool, good times. All right, what else do we got? There was a interview with. It's just gonna do all this Trump stuff. Yeah, I guess we are. Sorry. Let me pull up my notes. Okay, what else do we got? Got another press gaggle from the Kirk Memorial.
September 10th. Honor Jesus. Let's honor Charlie.
About 3 hours in, there was I saw a press gaggle somewhere in here. Oh, yeah, whatever. I need some slop. Let's watch
Michael Knowles.
Tim Pool. Just to calm everything down a little bit. Nothing like Tim Pool
has responded to the videos about Destiny, basically calling for conservatives to be killed. And I think it's a fair assessment because Destiny said if you wanted Charlie Kirk to be alive, Donald Trump shouldn't have been president in the second term. Said 7 of the 10 biggest protests. He also said previously that conservatives should fear being killed. And so let me just give you the quick, simple assessment, and then we'll play Michael Knowles' video and we'll talk about what he had to say. When you say conservatives have to fear being killed because the current level of violence isn't scaring them, what level of violence requires someone to fear that they'll die? A conservative.
No, that's backwards from the way the argument's going. It's okay, the Steelman Destiny here, it's like the temperature is this high, and it's a little odd that isn't felt, or it isn't like acknowledged on the right. It's not saying, oh, we need to take action to make people fearful. It's just, hey, we're already here. Like, I don't understand how you guys don't recognize that. That's the Steelman. Again, it's not phrased the best.
Of death. Only when someone dies will they be like, holy crap, I might die too, right? That's kind of the point. It is veiled language intending to intentionally say the left will kill you if you pursue your politics. Michael Knowles published a video about this, which has many people talking, where he says prosecute Destiny. Now, I myself have not gone that far. And while admittedly this is my reaction commentary channel, it's not overtly and always political, but this is a big time and a big matter. So let's listen. Experiencing interruptions. I guess so. Let's try that again.
Tim.
Heavens me. Let's try this again. There we go. It's playing. They're just giving me the business for some reason.
Man.
What is going on?
This looks like one of my streams.
Case in point, Stephen Bonnell, who had this to say after the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
Out the crime statistics? not exactly like.
You need conservatives to be afraid of getting killed when they go to events so that they look to their leadership to turn down the temperature. The issue is right now, they don't feel like there's any fear. Like, I don't know. It's like memes. It's just memes to everybody, I guess. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't care. I'm playing video games. Okay.
Look at me reacting to Michael Knowles reacting to Destiny.
Okay, I'm done today. I don't give a...
Yeah, no. You win TV. Yeah, that's exactly it. Dude, that's like... It's the thin skirt of responsibility that is very present, especially on alt media, where it's like, you're accusing Destiny of telling people to kill people, where you say, I'm not calling for people to be arrested, but this is an interesting video. Like, okay, are we making leaps in logic, or are we not? We can't do one-sided leaps in logic.
God, it's gonna be so gay if I get killed in the next 2 months of what I'm doing. Well, out here, please don't anybody make any actual the most weak bullshit speeches on my side.
Jeez.
God, if it happens, I'm gonna make a death note before I go out to go live and not. God, it's so
much funnier.
It's so optics.
Hard to make sense of what he's saying. The first part is clear enough, though. He says conservatives need to fear for their lives when they go out to go do events.
Wait, hold on. I just had a fucking brain blast moment. Golden ratio squares. This is React content. This is the future of React content. Holy fuck, biggest brain moment ever. Okay, am I the only one that finds this funny? Holy shit, it's the golden ratio of React streaming. Fine, fuck you guys.
You need to make them fear for their lives. You need to make them think you're going to murder them. So, look, he obviously should be prosecuted. That is not protected speech.
Okay,
That's an
someone
incitement
has
to
to make a reaction to my reaction, reacting to Tim Pool, react to Michael Knowles, react to Destiny. To continue this spiral. It's also a product of just how I have my camera situated, but it's
ones clear as day. Stephen Bonnell should be prosecuted. He should spend a long time in prison for that. No question.
Wait, does Michael Knowles do his camera in the corner?
More broadly,
when
these people should not be permitted in public.
Another Destiny clip.
They should not be permitted in clubs. They should be fired from their workplaces if they say things like this. They should be ostracized from all of polite society. Not so that we can shrink the acceptable discourse. It's quite the opposite.
Also, just polling on the chat, 1 or 2. Was it reasonable? 1 for yes to ban the Serbian nationalist guy, or 2 no?
What he is saying is, you need to threaten to murder conservatives so that they shut their mouths so that we don't have to deal with their open marketplace of ideas.
It's worse than that, Michael. When he says that, and he's also made these other comments, it's a simple grade system, right? He said it's memes to them. It's memes, right?
Apparently,
Destiny stated on Piers Morgan's show that 7 of the 10 worst protests, Charlie Kirk's death, most of the political violence, it's under Trump. And it's largely perpetrated, almost all of it, by the left. I mean, even Stephen Marsh, who wrote the book The Next Civil War and The Last Election, I think it's called The Last Election, he said the right is responsible for most of this. He's a liberal guy. The right's responsible for most, but the left is quickly catching up. Yes, because in the past year, it's been leftist. So let's break that down. You have violence up to the point of killings, and conservatives aren't scared. It's memes to them. So when he says you voting for Trump has resulted in liberals killing you, you should fear they'll kill you next, which requires conservatives to die for that fear to happen. Did Charlie Kirk fear death? I don't mean to be callous or cruel, but the answer is no.
Yeah, there you... I feel like that makes the point, though. It's like, look, the temperature is this high. And until now, like, it feels like maybe like a buddy wow look at conservatives and libs can get along. Destiny looked too good. Oh. That's funny. Yeah, because I saw a tweet from Destiny. It was like, yeah, Michael Knowles got way too drunk and started talking about how much he loved to, suck or whatever the fuck. I was like, okay, I think it's just shit posting, but...
If Charlie truly thought that he would die stepping out onto that field, he would not have done it. He is a father and a husband. People rely on him. He's an employer. He did not think he was going to die.
I figured that
and
was
that's
a joke.
what Destiny is saying. He should have feared death, so he wouldn't have done the event. Then he would have gone to Trump and said, please stop.
Yeah, really? Yeah.
Charlie Kirk dies. Terrifying assassination. And we here have a security assessment. Timcast, we can't do live events. Because in order to do so, at this point, with active assassinations and a rapid escalation of death threats, we need bomb-sniffing dogs, full-body pat-downs, vehicle searches. And we went over the list of everything you would need to secure an event. I'm like, that's insane. We've done events in the past. We did it a month ago. 2 months. I think it's 2 months now, right? Oh, no, it was a month ago. A month and a half, sorry. We did not fear that someone would bring in specialty weapons, explosives, 3D printed guns. It's always a possibility, but I don't think that I'm going to die stepping in. We have active death threats that we have submitted to the FBI. This is what Destiny was calling for. So let me do this.
It's a fucking wake-up call. Like, hey, we don't want anything else to happen, but hey, we've been feeling afraid for a while now. How do you guys not see it? I feel like that's the steel man of this, but whatever.
We will play the rest of Michael's video, but let me show you the context. He says clearly he should be prosecuted.
Okay, I can't laugh. He's
and
using ChatGPT.
we have
I'm
this.
using
It says,
Gemini, whatever.
What is defined as a clear and imminent
Gemini's
threat in
better,
speech? A clear and imminent threat in the context of speech is a legal standard used in U.S. constitutional law, clearly advocating for unlawful or violent acts, likely to lead to action immediately or in the near future. So, directed to inciting or producing imminent lawless action. A person shouting in a crowd, attack that building right now, would meet the standard. However, someone saying, someday we should overthrow the government, does not. Destiny's language is just before the line of illegality. I do not believe he can be prosecuted for it.
Thank you, Tim.
So incitement to
Our
riot,
lawyer.
conspiracy, or solicitation to commit a crime, and terroristic threats are all possible. If they said burn that store right now, then you can be charged. Saying, if you wanted your friend to be alive, Trump should not have been president, and you should fear death, doesn't cross that line. However, I will say this. Context matters. Michael Knowles may not be wrong. We may now be entering a point at which it actually is incitement. Why? Because of the context around the speech. Now, I don't believe that Destiny said conservatives should be made to fear death. I believe that was from before Charlie Kirk's assassination. But the Piers Morgan comments came afterward. Destiny is dancing on a very thin line where at this point, innuendo will not shield you. Someone was murdered. If you say we should see more of this, and you mention a specific individual, or not even, we're dangerously close to where...
What was the full video where he said that? Was this... Destiny... Jesus. Conserved... But is fear it. What is this picture? What? What was there a video in which he said this? I'll look for it.
The interpretation is going to be, if he says after this point, or if that video was made after, conservatives need to fear more death, you could very well get a prosecution stating, in this context and presentation of the assassination of...
Wait, Pisco beat Rob Noor in a debate? Is this true?
Charlie Kirk. He advocated for more murder, which is an incitement to murder people. That's the environment we're at. With active death threats, you got to be very careful. I still think it's fair to say he's on the line. It's hard to know where it goes. Let's play more from Michael.
What he is articulating is, as Chesterton calls it, the thought that stops thought. That is a thought that urgently must be stopped. Go to helixsleep.com/Knowles.
I'm going to give him that quick
don't think
plug
it's a
because I
vid?
am reacting to Michael Knowles' video, and they were shouting out Helix Sleep. I don't know what it is, but I'll jump forward. I don't. You know, look, I try to be careful and not react to like the entirety of a video or anything like that. But you know, shout out to Michael Knowles and the Daily Wire crew.
He's not the only one. There's another prominent left-wing streamer, Hassan something or other, biker.
Oh,
Hassan.
no. Not the Destiny and Hassan double mention.
Biker. Here's an example just from last year. Tom Cotton posted something on Twitter. Hassan Piker responds with a diagram of how to make the gun, the homemade gun that killed.
All right, it's the September 15th stream. Okay.
Shinzo Abe in Japan, Prime Minister of Japan. An obvious threat,
Hey, it's me.
a call to action to murder a sitting Republican senator. He should be prosecuted. Hassan Piker should be prosecuted.
Nothing ever came
I'm going to agree with that on that one. So
Shinzo
this
Abe
is where
thing
context
with
is
it.
important. We've made the argument quite a bit. An imminent threat is required. But if you post a picture of how to make a gun that was used in the murder of a politician at a politician, I think in context, it is fair to prosecute. I really, really do.
10th.
So I'm not going to play this stupid Tweedledee Tweedledum death threat game anymore. We know what the intention is. Hassan Piker has said things about engaging in violence in a video game. In a video game. We know you don't mean in a video game, dude. You are just testing the limits of law for the sake of you being able to call for death against other people. So that one absolutely crosses the line. If someone sent me a picture of a gun that was used, like if someone sent me a picture of the gun that was used to kill Charlie Kirk, they posted it at me, and the context around it was they are someone who has made veiled threats against me, that is where they cross the line. So let me clarify.
Okay. Okay. Let's start here, I guess.
Honor to be able to take Charlie's remains from Utah to Arizona. It was an amazing, amazing thing. It was heartbreaking, and it was sad, and it was terrible, but what an honor it was.
Fuck. I'm sorry. Hold on.
Now we really
Just
are
because-
hitting the golden ratio. Oh my god. Me reacting to Simple, react to Michael Knowles, react to Destiny, pulling up the context of Destiny reacting to JD Vance.
I know that I watched some of Hutch this morning. I just want to be clear. I don't hate
it's
Hutch
Destiny
or
reacting to
Pisco.
Hutch,
I understand like
reacting
where
to
these people
Destiny,
come
reacting
from,
to-
but we have lost some fundamental assumptions of how our society used to function. And you know what? Okay, hold on. I see the quote here, but I'll see what the clip actually says.
Always detrimental. It has also can have a benefit. Like it's not always detrimental. It has also can have a benefit. Like politically, you
right after a political assassination.
Well,
like literally in hours after a political assassination, do you think that's the appropriate time to hash out the crime statistics?
Not exactly like.
You need conservatives to be afraid of getting killed when they go to events, so that they look to their leadership to turn down the temperature. The issue is right now, they don't feel like there's any fear. Like, I don't know. It's like memes. It's just memes to everybody, I guess. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't care. I'm playing video games. Okay, I'm done today. I don't give a fuck. God, it's gonna be so fucking gay if I get killed in the next fucking 2 months of shit. Bro! All the cucked shit out here. Please don't anybody make any actual fucking, the most cucked, weak ass, fucking bullshit ass speech. Okay, this is basically the gist of it. Everybody understands this. Where's Jordan Peterson at? Jordan Peterson, underlying violence. Where is he? I'm not gonna be able to find this, am I? Wait, is this?
There's a big difference between letting people do something for themselves
I'm not gonna be able to find this
saying
clip,
men
but-
should be dangerous.
The Obama craze.
By dangerous, that implies
What's the Obama craze?
I should be ready to threaten someone, to hurt somebody.
No, you should be capable of it. But that doesn't mean you should use it. There's nothing to you otherwise. Like if you're not a formidable force, there's no morality in your self-control. If you're incapable of violence, not being violent isn't a virtue. People who teach martial arts know this full well, right? If you learn a martial art, you learn to be dangerous, but simultaneously you learn to control it. Both of those come together. And the combination of that capacity for danger and the capacity for control is what brings about the virtue.
Okay, he's talking about the virtue of being nonviolent here. It's a little different. There is a lot of Peterson's older.
Wait, are you listening to the memorial?
Let's honor Erica.
I have the greatest job in the world. I go to college campuses and there's a...
He loved debate because he loved the truth. And the
people on the other side of the table because they
how long ago was the
were
Obama
made
thing?
in God's image.
So I go to college campuses and there's a lot of error. We're all sinners. We are all live in error. We as Christians are called to go
I feel like
into
if
the
I
public arena
just search
to
Obama
correct error with truth.
I'll run out
I'm
of
far
crap.
more interested in what God wants of me than what I want from God. I have the greatest job in the world. I couldn't be happier. Every day I feel as if what I'm saying, what I'm doing is making a difference. To be perfectly honest, I love the debate. I love the exploration of ideas. I think dialogue is a gift given to us by God. Prove me wrong. I have no notes. I have no AI. I have nothing. Tell me why you're correct.
Yeah, no,
For
Obama
3
was
hours, I will sit.
Yeah, okay. Okay, I'll just take your word for it. Again, it feels like everything is just a stupid dialogue tree, and history keeps shifting more and more towards Obama was insane and like one of the worst. Right after Sleepy Joe, somehow communist Obama. Like I don't know. Whatever.
Hassan has made veiled threats before. Hassan had used hyperbole as they've described it. I believe the collective body of works of Hassan creates a context around which he has called for violence,
Yeah, I feel
none
like
of which is
Hassan way more
prosecutable, but we
explicit
understand
about
his point.
incitement.
When you then take an image of a homemade weapon that was used to kill a politician and show it and send it to another politician, that's a death threat.
Wasn't this like a one-day
If,
ban?
However, a popular mechanics or science guy was frequently just discussing the mechanisms by which incendiary devices are made and has never called for threats or violence against someone and did that, the context isn't there.
Thanks, Tim
Here, the
Pool.
context is.
Government needs to come in and bring the force of actual government authority down and punish him for breaking the law. If the government does not do that, you'll get more of this.
Indeed.
You'll get more threats against conservatives.
Thanks, Tim.
What's currently happening is these liberals who are threatening my life and Michael Knowles' life have used veiled threats for the past 5 to 10 years. This has created an environment where everybody piles on and they're all spam blasting threats. And they argue it's too many to deal with. It applies in a bunch of different ways. One argument that was made about James O'Keefe, when I think what happened was James O'Keefe filed a lawsuit. I can't remember. But they argued his reputation is so damaged, it's not possible to damage any further. Meaning, so many people have lied about him, you can't get mad at me for joining in because everyone else is doing it too, which is an absurdity. So I agree with Michael. At least it should be investigated. And I think in context, I'm going to say this. What is the intent of the individual? Is the individual saying, I want you to go kill somebody? Does it need to be explicit? Can implicit death threats be applied? I think the answer is yes. Now, the imminent standard threat in speech, when speech becomes illegal, is when you say, hey, you go commit crime. What if someone says something like, man, real sad what happened to Charlie Kirk. Would be a shame if it happened to you, Tim Pool. Anybody want to go to Tim Pool's house right now? I got the address. I would argue that should be criminally prosecuted because we understand the intent. It is to instruct and to issue a death threat, none of which is protected speech.
It's lowbrow.
It's intending to terrorize me, and they're doing the same thing to Michael Knowles. The list that I'm on, he's on as well.
You will very likely get more injuries and murders of conservatives. You will shrink the vaunted marketplace of ideas. You will undermine all of society.
Actually, I think the more incriminating picture of Tim Pool is the one of him at the wedding with a beanie on. Like, being bald, losing your hair, whatever. It happens to most men. Wearing a beanie at a wedding? Now that's unique.
Furthermore, any organization that hosts that person
Wait. Oh, you know, it'd be so funny if I made a VTuber model of bald Tim Pool.
should be vigorously investigated, should be shunned from polite society. If it receives any federal funding, that funding should be cut off. These people need to be ostracized. Their behavior is cancerous to society. And we've been kind of nice and squishy about it in the past.
Cutting them
and
off?
we've been just giving them the
What do you do with a cancer, bud?
The grace of, well, just one more chance, just one more chance. They can't really believe what they're saying. They don't really mean it. They don't. Enough. We've had enough. I've had enough.
Intent is
There's
clear.
a study that just came out from YouGov. Liberals are 8 times as likely as conservatives to celebrate the death of their opponents. This just came out.
Okay, hold on. That study, I know this study. I've read it a bunch of times. I spent a lot of time on stream yesterday trying to think through it. Liberals are more likely to say it's justified to be happy about a political adversary dying. So, it's still not good. I don't think that's good. But he's disingenuously making it sound worse.
This came out after the assassination of Charlie. 24% of respondents who describe themselves as very liberal said it is always or usually acceptable to be happy about the death of a political figure they oppose.
Let me, I just Google searched this. Let's pull it in. From the Hill, liberals more likely to say political violence sometimes justified. And this is 9:15. Americans largely agree political violence is never justified, but a new poll shows liberals are more likely than conservatives to say violence can be warranted in order to achieve political goals. In the YouGov survey conducted in the immediate aftermath of the fatal shooting of
liberal
Charlie
includes
Kirk,
tankies in this
72% of Americans said violence is never justified, while 11% said it can sometimes be justified. Another 12% said they're not sure, and 6% preferred not to say. A quarter of respondents
Although I don't know if
very...
that's enough of a population to make up for it. I don't know. I don't know. I genuinely don't know how to rationalize this study. It doesn't look good.
Liberals said violence can sometimes be justified, with 17% of those identified as liberal, 9% of moderates, 6% of those said they're conservative, and 3%. It's bad when you have 9% of conservatives saying, to some degree, it's justified. But we're looking at with liberals, they say a quarter of respondents, 25% of
you
very
guys
liberal.
can't see
Okay,
the
so
bulletin
let me
pool
clarify.
I put
I'm
over
mixing this
it.
up.
Fuck. Because I have
25% of the far left agree. 17% of liberals agree.
Fuck.
So adding up the numbers doesn't necessarily make sense. It is a small fraction of conservatives from the far right to the moderate right that agree with political violence. It is a substantial portion of the left. This is what we have been saying the whole time. This right here. And they say the right is responsible for more of the political violence. That is and always has been a lie. I've got a data point for you that'll pull up. And then we'll get back. Michael's got about a minute left. I want to play what he had to say. When we talk about political violence, and we're looking at whether or not a political party is more or less violent, I give you this chart. Combined violent rates by party. This is the violent crime rates of...
I also looked into this one. I'll see what he says for it.
Some of major cities, just major cities in the United States.
Okay, no, he's honest about what he's actually putting here. He's saying he's comparing the violence rates of cities. Also, the sum of cities, just by the nature of there being more liberal cities, there's going to be more violence in them. And it's so fucking disingenuous. Like, on its face, this is really stupid. One, because there's just more liberal cities, so you're going to see a disparity. And two, we now ignore every other stat and look at the crime rates of cities to see if liberals or conservatives are more violent? Really? Not, political violence events in the last 10 years and compare those stats? Like, come on, Tim. Come on. How would you even rationalize this? I know he's doing this on a fucking React channel because he knows if this was put to the test at all, he'd have to fold on it. Hell, it would even have more credence if he did average of red. Actually, let's do that.
858 violent crimes in Republican areas, 21,765 in Democrat areas. Now, is this meaningful in any way?
No.
Not really. No. It doesn't tell you the political leaning of the perpetrator. It's all just a manipulation. This is how much violent crime occurs in Democrat-run cities. Almost all of it. These individuals are voting Democrat 80% of the time.
So
we can say, by control, by party, this is what you get. Now, the argument the left makes is, oh, yeah, but that's because Democrats control the major cities. Ask yourself why. The point remains the same. The policies of areas in which people largely vote Democrat results in crime rates substantially higher than Republican-controlled areas. You're not going to be...
This is the sum, not the average.
You can't just go and take a white supremacist and say he represents Charlie Kirk, because Charlie Kirk was not a white supremacist. They're lying when they say that he was. It's the lie. That's the game they play.
Only 3% of those who describe themselves as very conservative answered that way. A conservative reads those numbers, and we're ashamed. We're ashamed that 3% of people who are very conservative would say, well, you know, sometimes I'm happy when my opponents die. We're ashamed of that fact. 24% of very liberal respondents, 8 times the number. That is extremely antisocial behavior. That needs to be discouraged with every lawful means at our disposal. You cannot have a society that way.
I agree. I think we can actually pull up the YouGov survey, so let's do that. What Americans really think about political violence. 2 days. Wow. 2 days after Charlie's death. Most Americans say political violence is a very big problem. So among all adults, 60% say very big, 28% say somewhat. That's nuts. 87% are saying, like, we got a serious problem here. Democrats think it's a bigger problem than Republicans by about 1 point. Independents, that's the funny thing. Independents think it's still overwhelming majority across the board. Among the 65 plus, it's overwhelming.
Oh my God, am I stupid?
75%. I'm sorry. That's 95%. Sorry, I got that wrong.
Yeah, the
Among
YouGov
18
thing's
to 29,
not a good look.
Much less at 78%. Why? They're not sure. They're not sure because they're not as experienced. The older generation has experienced violence. They also are shocked by how much we're seeing today. The younger generation is only experiencing this right now, and so they don't know whether it's good or bad. What are they comparing it to? But more importantly, some of them agree with it. Here you go. Jeez. Democrats and Republicans are more likely to say political violence is a big problem after attacks on members of their own party. Yep. Let's go back to the narrative at hand and the question, which is, should we have Destiny and Hassan criminally charged? I have not gone through every single thing Destiny has said or Hassan Piker, and they're not the only ones. But I can say, at least for now, what Destiny is saying is on that line, which I believe they should actually look into to see if it crosses that threshold. Why? Because they're terroristic threats. Now, the problem, they're not terroristic threats targeting a time or place or a specific individual, and that's just this stochastic terrorism. I don't know if you can criminally prosecute that. The Hassan Piker gun thing, that might actually be. Why? Because Hassan has made hyperbolic statements in a video game, which they can easily prove shows the intent and the desire of Hassan to have people killed. He can argue it's not the case. But when you show a makeshift weapon that was used to kill somebody and you send it to somebody,
violence,
that's a threat.
It isn't part of the free marketplace of ideas. That isn't part of the open-minded ethos of our modern. Maybe I guess it is part of the open-minded ethos of our modern society. This is what our modern society gets you.
Yep.
Can't tolerate it.
I agree. Shout out to the Michael Knowles show. Y'all should follow Michael, of course. I don't need to tell you that. You know Michael Knowles. You know all about Michael. We're big fans. Let me just put it like this.
I guess
I am currently living under the threat of the far left. Not Groypers, not pro-Israel, not anti-Israel, not Islamists, not the Jews, not the Germans. Just the far left.
What?
They use stochastic threats. Stochastic terrorism is effectively described as when someone goes, oh, won't someone rid me of this priest? The left defines it as someone screaming, hey, fascists are bad. Hey, fascists are bad. Why would anyone kill fascists? And then they hope that someone eventually goes out and starts doing it. What we are dealing with right now among the left is I call it the Tweedledee Tweedledum threat. Huh? And that is someone will say, people like Tim Pool should be next and he deserves it. Someone then responds with, whoa, is this Tim Pool's address? Hope nothing happens to him.
Isn't that literally what's happening to Destiny right now?
They're saying, someone please go kill Tim Pool. And they're doing this right now. We have to send these things to the FBI. Why should we tolerate that? That's clearly unlawful activity. It's not a joke. It's an actual threat with the intention of terrorizing me and manipulating the political landscape through terror. Democracy, as they claim to want, can't function if that's the case. So they should agree with us. They should agree with Michael. They should agree with me that anybody who makes the veiled threats or the Tweedledee Tweedledum threat should be charged.
Tim, buddy, if you open up the veiled threats rule, I don't know how many Republican commentators there will be. Okay, bud. Yeah, whatever you say, dude. All right, let's watch something a little more calm. Steve Bannon and Megyn Kelly.
You mentioned Ellison, so...
God damn. Dead. Steve Bannon's looking rough.
They're taking over CBS News and maybe bringing in Barry Weiss to try to be like a non-woke voice of reason in there, overseeing editorial.
I mean, enforcing stochastic terrorism laws would probably be a good idea. The veiled threats law. I think you'd have to be careful about it because you don't want that to have a loose interpretation that could be used by people such as our dear leader. But yeah, I don't think you can have people saying, like, even posting like a shotgun above Tom Cotton's tweets. I don't think you can have that. John Brandon, 2028, would literally have every maggot. Yeah, true. Joe Biden, the tyrant, the communist, the fascist.
That would be a step definitely in the right direction. Then there's a possibility.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I was sad to see what happened as well. Look, my take is, first of all, thank you for the follow. Second of all, I'm on the opposite end of the political spectrum of him. Well, not the opposite end, I'm center left, but still. Reprehensible that happened. That is not good for a healthy, functioning democracy. Feel bad for him, his family, his friends. Yeah, we cannot have political violence like that in the U.S.
There was some talk about Ellison possibly even buying CNN and doing the same thing there. So this guy, Dan Pfeiffer, who used to work for Obama, he's part of the Pod Save America guys. He has a Substack, and Mark Halperin was writing about it and talking about it. And on this guy's Substack, this is a former Obama guy, he's worried. He's pearl clutching over there about the fact that now you have, possibly a de-wokeifier at CBS, potentially in the future at CNN. And on top of all that, you've got Trump trying to save TikTok in a way that would wrest it from Chinese control and possibly make it more reasonable. And God forbid.
Can you imagine if the TikTok... Oh, fuck. Actually, when Biden didn't immediately ban TikTok, what do you think these people were saying?
Even more open-minded to conservatives, because right now it is a far-left site. And he's very worried about that, Stephen. He writes as follows. Well, the MAGA right is on the verge of controlling the vast majority of the American media ecosystem. There are exceptions, but much of the corporate press is now too loyal to or too afraid of Trump to act as a true check on power. Yes, what would that be like to have an entire media controlled by the same party that controls the White House and acting as a bunch of sick...
What's the top news channel? What's the number 4 news channel? Come on.
Fans in service of him. I mean, like, the obtuse statement, like the cluelessness of this.
It absolutely is because of what they've done for decade after decade after decade. That being said, I'm a hardcore neo-Brandeisian. I'm a huge believer in Lena Khan and what the FCC, the FTC, what these antitrust really fire breathers and Trump's Justice Department trying to break up Google, trying to break up Facebook. I actually am quite concerned. I am concerned with, and Larry Ellison is a great guy. Oracle's done a great job, what they're doing. But to know that they're trying to buy Warner Brothers immediately after closing a quite difficult transaction, they're trying to buy Warner Brothers and CNN is, I think it has to be questioned. And then on top of it, TikTok. Remember, what we want to have is a system of actual free market capitalism. We don't have that today. The United States has corporatism. Our model, the Chinese communists, the Chinese did not become liberal Democrats, liberal free market Democrats. They became, in the broadest sense, we became more like their model, state capitalism, or what I call corporatism. And the concentration of power, you see this every day. The one thing I tell people is different than the first administration, right? The second is that we have the greatest concentration of power under Biden in media.
Yeah, I don't know what I fucking expected. It's Steve Bannon, but really? The greatest concentration of power under Biden? The guy who stepped out of the executive role one time when he tried to forgive student loans, got shot down by the courts, and was like, all right.
Media on Wall Street and big pharma and big medical and the big tech oligarchs in the defense industry, though that power in Washington, trying to have regulatory merger, right, is something that we as MAGA and a populist nationalist movement have to be worried about all the time. And so I love the fact that conservatives are now coming and we're giving them a little taste of what they've had for years and loved it.
How do you feel about
and the reason they're suppressing it?
But that sounds like spare me the, it would be so hard if the other party controlled media while they control the White House. Welcome to our world. We've been living like this for 50 years.
50 years.
Yes, and particularly fight for Obama. But we, as populists, always have to be on guard for the concentration of corporate and state power. That's something we're going to, and that's a fight that's internal to MAGA and the Trump administration. And I think that fight's going to get very big coming next year and up to the midterms.
Oh boy,
that makes sense. Let me ask you this: the other piece of this is like the leftist meltdown around the Jimmy Kimmel indefinite suspension. I mean, it hasn't even been fired.
Yeah, those are two.
Is really at 10 out of 10. Like I said at the top, they actually are pretending that this is as serious and as big an event as what happened to Charlie. It's very strange. It's like weird trauma glomming. And,
I think it's a 12 out of 10. I think it's a 12 out of 10. I've never seen anything like it. This morning on Morning Joe and CNN, it's full coverage. Everything else going in the world, not important. They are literally, because I think they see the fact they can be fired.
Would it be this high if we hadn't just lost Charlie? Because they're scared. They know how angry we are. They know how mobilized and motivated we are. And is it a direct reaction to that? Would it be at a 12 if we hadn't just lost Charlie? Clearly at the hands of somebody infected with left-wing ideology. Or is this just because, as you say, now they're worried they could actually lose their jobs?
I think normally it would be a 7 or 8, maybe a 9. I think it's 12. And the reason is they see the self-organizing nature of the commemorations of Charlie's, the death and the vigils, but also the determination of these young people to carry on his work. And I think they see the streets of Korea. They are scared to death because I think for the first time they see that there has been someone that actually made not just a political difference, but a deep cultural difference. I think that's got them scared to death. And I think they feel if they don't put this down now, that if President Trump and the regulators go after him, and also the free market...
What the fuck did he just bumble through?
Korea, they are scared to death because I think for the first time they see that there has been someone that actually made not just a political difference, but a deep cultural difference. I think that's got them scared to death. And I think they feel if they don't put this down now, that if President Trump and the regulators go after him, and also... The free market capitals like the affiliate groups start responding to the consumers in their local communities where most of this is happening, right? Because remember, the affiliates, the owned and operated are New York, Chicago, LA, you know this. The affiliates are really out in the heartland of the country, right? The smaller stations. If they see this happening, they think that's a revolution. They think the barbarians have actually breached the gate. And so that's why they have to put it down now. I think the self-organizing response to Charlie's death has been something that I don't believe it's ever happened.
Sorry, is his argument that this is awesome that the FCC is threatening to pull licenses and block mergers because the ripple effects of basically terrorizing smaller stations? What? Okay, Steve.
American history. It didn't happen in Kennedy. Didn't even happen, I don't think, in Martin Luther King, right? This peaceful, just self-organizing vigils, etc. And they're scared to death. That is raw political, cultural and political power. That's why they're at a...
I think, okay, fuck the last take that he just gave. Re-listen to
Martin
this
Luther
one.
King happened an amazing breach the gate. They see this happening. They think that's a revolution. They think the barbarians have actually breached the gate. And so that's why they have to put it down now. I think the self-organizing response to Charlie's death has been something that I don't believe it's ever happened in American history. It didn't happen in Kennedy. Didn't even happen, I don't think, in even Martin Luther King, right? This peaceful, just self-organizing vigils, et cetera. And they're scared to death. That is raw political, cultural and political power. That's why they're at a 12. Not a 8 or a 9, which they normally would be. But Megan, they're irrational. If you've seen this coverage from the other, when it first happened, all the way till this morning, they have lost reason in talking about this.
Okay, so let me go into both of those rabbit holes. We're gonna.
No, sorry, I misheard. I thought he was saying after MLK's death. I thought he was saying that MLK was more of a violent guy than Kirk.
Start with the freak out over Kimmel and his indefinite suspension. Here's just a small sample, SOT 12.
I mean, this is straight out of the authoritarian playbook.
When they appease the bully, they put all of us at risk.
Out of nowhere, remove a late-night talk show host and program who was sharing an opinion during a comedic monologue. I think should concern every single American.
Talk show hosts who are like modern Tom Paines.
You need to see what is happening right now.
Hey, I know this guy. I don't know him personally.
The systematic destruction of free speech in...
I should reach out to him. Fuck, I need to get to 100 followers.
this country. This is a moment for the country to mobilize. This is a moment for all of us to be out on the streets protesting. This is a red alert moment. The days are getting darker.
I've also read a whole lot about authoritarian regimes. This is the playbook, folks. If you're not paying attention now and doing something about it, well, then you're going to have to sit down the rest of your life because democracy is being taken away.
Okay, there's the meltdown. That's just a small sample. We could be here all day playing their leftist freak out over poor Jimmy Kimmel. And what you said, though, is exactly right. They're worried about the vigils across the world. They are worried about the 62,000 applications with high school students and college students to join TPUSA. They know exactly where that's going to lead when those kids become voters in a couple of years for the high schoolers, and they're probably already registered for the college students. Not in a good place for Democrats. And so now what we're starting to see is there's no...
Actually, wait, hold on. We should let all of this just run its course, and in a certain way, because if TPUSA is at more college campuses and conservatives, I watched a little bit of the Kirk thing. Yeah, I watched Jack Posobiec's part, dude. It's some scary shit. But here's the grand plan, all right? Some hope core, all right? TPUSA goes into a bunch of colleges. Conservatives all of a sudden are like, yeah, actually, it's awesome to send your kids to college because it's epic and based. They get educated, learn more, and what educated people do? Go Democrat. So, maybe, just maybe, the 15th order effect is that we rise. Oh yeah, let's check what's going on with the Tucker's doing a speech. I have the live stream here.
So as we...
Yeah, let's go to the start of Tucker's speech.
Thing I think I've ever seen. And I don't... Whatever happens next in America, I hope it's in this direction because God is here and you can feel it.
A lot of God
And Charlie
stuff,
would have loved
man.
this, not just because he loved large groups of people, but because ultimately he was a Christian evangelist. And it actually reminds me of my favorite story ever. So it's about 2,000 years ago in Jerusalem, and Jesus showed...
Okay. I feel like it's just an assumption that the evangelists vote red. If they're spending time trying to appeal again to some evangelists, is that not drawing their attention from elsewhere, like tricking the middle and working class?
Goes up and he starts talking about the people in power, and he starts doing the worst thing that you can do, which is telling the truth about people, and they hate it, and they just go bonkers. They hate it, and they become obsessed with making him stop. This guy's got to stop talking. We've got to shut this guy up. And I can just sort of picture the scene in a lamplit room with a bunch of guys sitting around eating hummus, thinking about what do we do about this guy telling the truth about us? We must make him stop talking.
Okay, wait, hold on. Sorry. Is the comparison here that the left is like the Roman Empire killing Jesus? Is that what we're doing here? Am I misreading this?
And there's always one guy with the bright idea, and I can just hear him say, I've got an idea, why don't we just kill him? That'll shut him up. That'll fix the problem. It doesn't work that way.
Why is Tucker so orange?
It doesn't work that way. Everything is inverted, and the Beatitudes tell it, I think, the most crisply. Everything is sort of the opposite of what you think it's going to be. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. That is true, and you can feel it here. The thing about Charlie's message, I've thought a lot about it, and I'm trying not to be emotional because in addition to everything else, he was a wonderful man and a decent man and one of those rare people you meet who you just groove with in conversation and have these very intense conversations that you don't stop thinking about, which is my experience with him. But the main thing about Charlie and his message, he was bringing the gospel to the country. He was doing the thing that the people in charge
gospel,
hate
famously absent from the United States
most, which is calling for them to repent. So how is Charlie's message different? And Charlie was a political person who was deeply interested in coalition building and in getting the right people in office because he knew that vast improvements are possible politically. But he also knew that politics is not the final answer. It can't answer the deepest questions, actually. That the only real solution is Jesus.
Okay.
And the reason, it's really simple.
We are
politics, at its core, is a process of critiquing other people and getting them to change. Christianity, the gospel message.
Help me out with the crossword here. Oscar-winning Ariana of West Side Story. Someone's got to know this.
The message of Jesus begins with repentance. Christianity calls upon you to change. Our core prayer given to us by Jesus, the Lord's Prayer, demands that we forgive other people, but preceding that is a request for our forgiveness. In other words, forgive us our sins, meditate on what we've done wrong, how we've fallen short, and then it becomes possible to forgive other people. That is a call to change our hearts from Jesus, and that is the only way forward in this country. That is the only solution to where we all know we're going. And Charlie knew where we were going without that. And that is not a call for being politically passive, of course not. I stood on many stages with Charlie calling for various people to be elected, particularly Donald Trump. And I'm proud of that. It's only an acknowledgement that what Charlie was really saying is that change begins, the only change that matters, when we repent of our sins. We, me. A recognition that the real problem is me and how fallen I am. And that was the reason that Charlie was fearless at all times, truly fearless to his last moment. He was unafraid, he was not defensive, and there was no hate in his heart. I know that because I've got a little hate compartment in my heart, and I would often express that to Charlie about various people, and he would always say, that's a sad person. That's
Remember, Joe Biden giving a speech that had red as part of the background was over the line. But this is hunky-dory.
a broken person. That's a person who needs help. That's a person who needs Jesus. He said that in private because he meant it. So I guess I would just say this gathering and God's presence, God's very obvious presence in this room, the presence of Jesus, is a reminder of what we've known for 2,000 years, which is any attempt to extinguish the light causes it to burn brighter. Every single time. as we proceed into whatever comes next, and
there's a very cynical part of me that's like, obviously this level of thing is very abnormal. Granted, I don't think I've lived through many political pundits dying. I don't know what the appropriate level is, but a cynical part of me thinks that there might be this much amplification of this because of the Epstein votes that are happening at the same time that are keeping the files buried. Or at least that's a component of it. Don't know. And I don't think they're like, I don't think it's causal, but the amplification, I think this is somewhat intentional. I don't know. That could be over cynicalizing, but the pattern we've seen is the Epstein files get brought to a vote, Trump does some crazy shit, and then everyone kind of shuts up about it for a while.
clearly something's coming next. Remember this moment. Remember being in a room with the Holy Spirit humming like a tuning fork. This is the way. Right here. This is the way. And that is what Charlie Kirk was saying underneath it all. Thank you, and God bless.
Every day.
Oh. All right. Trying to think of a rhyme, like an announcer introduction that involves Russian tool.
Charlie lived his life as a warrior for truth and for freedom, every single day choosing to step into the...
Yeah, I mean, when Kash Patel was asked directly, why aren't you releasing the files? It's literally, why didn't Biden? And yeah, why didn't Biden? That's a mistake. But if we both agree that that's a mistake, does it not stand to reason that you should rectify it? I think it's something that's fair to call out and say that was wrong. But since we're calling it out that it's wrong, it also is logical to say, okay, so the right move is to release it, which you're not doing.
Arena armed with the Constitution, sparring through debate on the battlefield of ideas, fighting for the heart of our democratic republic and the unalienable rights endowed upon every one of us by our Creator. Charlie lived what our founders envisioned: freedom, the right to speak even when we disagree. Freedom. I may not agree with what you say, but I will fight to defend to the death with my very life your right to speak.
Unless you're Jimmy Fallon, then you can't make... Fuck me.
Free speech is the foundation of our democratic republic. We must protect it at all costs, because without it, we'll be lost. Charlie knew this. He lived it. Charlie stood in the arena armed with superior arguments, with truth, reason, propelled and motivated by his love for God, his love for others, his love for our great nation. His words were his weapons. He slayed ignorance. He cut through lies, and he woke people's minds, inspired people's hearts, and imparted wisdom. He cut through lies, and he woke people's minds, inspired people's hearts, and imparted wisdom every day.
Modern political
Now,
commentary.
for those of
is
us
just a
who knew
keyword
Charlie,
search.
and even those of you who may never have had the chance to meet him in person, we all know and experienced how Charlie spoke with a calm courage, not asking, what will God do for me? But instead praying, God, use me for your will. He showed respect and compassion for everyone, even those who opposed him. And I think especially for those who opposed him, he invited them to his table or on his show.
There's a reason the only people he would debate were college kids and Hassan Piker. Like, let's be real. Regardless of what you think about Hassan, he's not a good debater. And that's like by his own admission, too. Oh, Christ.
Saying, let's talk. Sitting with Charlie here in Arizona at ASU last year, seeing and experiencing him in action was truly a sight to behold. Because in Charlie, he sincerely wanted people to know the truth. Because it's the truth that sets us free. It is the truth that keeps us free. Now, Charlie, he chose our schools as his arena because he knows that they are meant to teach, to train our young people to think critically, to debate ideas, to test their strength through a clash of reason. But too often, these schools silence debate, saying words are violence, and dissenting voices are hushed, and those who speak of God, those who speak the truth, simple objective truths like there are only two genders in these schools, they are told you have no voice. Charlie chose this.
Ignore how expensive shit's getting. Remember, they have multiple genders.
Arena to take these people head on, to challenge these institutions, these students and faculty, encouraging them to come, to speak honestly, bring your ideas, debate loudly, and think critically. And Charlie did this so well. He was winning, so much winning, so much so that the forces of darkness, hate, and evil were threatened by him and tried to silence him. History shows this dark pattern that when ideas cannot withstand scrutiny, whether it's the ideology of so-called religious fanatics or political fanatics, their defenders, terrified that their weak ideas will be exposed for what they are, turn to intimidation, censorship, and violence. They kill and terrorize their opponents, hoping.
So religious fanatics are bad unless we're having this entire, like, Christian evangelical session? What? I love... Yeah, I mean, he's popular. My main gripe isn't his debate, it's that he doesn't advocate for people to vote blue. Glad he gets people into politics. That's good. I just wish he would stop with, like, the Holocaust Harris stuff. Because at the end of the day, like, he just said on stream the other day, too, it's like, yes, the morally right thing is to vote for the lesser of two evils. So I just wish he was stronger and, like, look, we want the Democratic Party to go further this way, but at the end of the day, it's better than the Republican Party. Because in my view, like, again, if you want a seat at the table, you gotta, like, I don't know, the Democratic Party is like a potluck. If you want to be part of it, you gotta bring something too. Like, you gotta vote for the candidate. We've gotta fight it out in the primaries. So, that's my thing. That's my main gripe.
To silence them. But in this evil that we have experienced, that Charlie faced, their flawed ideology is exposed. Because by trying to silence Charlie, his voice is now louder than ever. His message is more powerful and impactful than ever. The truths that he spoke have spread hundredfold. Charlie was fearless, but where did his fearlessness come from? The answer lies in Corinthians.
Okay.
Therefore, be
right. Religious fanatics are bad unless they're Christian. Awesome. Cool.
always of good courage, and know that while we are at home in the body, we are absent from the Lord. We are of good courage, I say, and prefer to be absent from the body and at home with the Lord. Therefore, we have as our ambition, whether at home or absent, to be pleasing to Him. So our call to action is now. Every one of us needs to be a warrior like Charlie, to take shelter in God, to draw strength and fearlessness from the Lord who sits within every one of our hearts, to stand together, continue the mission that Charlie dedicated his life to sharpen our weapons of truth, common sense, and reason, to train, to study, learn, and to speak.
This opportunist is worthless? Are you talking about me or Tulsi Gabbard?
Exercise our God-given right to speak and carry that torch that shines brightly because of God's love. So right now, if you feel afraid or lost, confused, not sure exactly what to do, don't be. God says, don't be afraid. I am with you. I will strengthen you and help you. And He is with us. He sits within every one of our hearts.
Yeah, he was pretty supportive of some countries doing no bueno things. I still don't. It doesn't mean he should have been shot. Violence is still bad. Still not the way we settle things here. But it doesn't mean I have to like what he said or anything.
It's just waiting for us to choose Him. To say as Charlie did, God, use me for your will. To say, God, my life is yours. I am yours.
I think, the Tulsi Gabbard lore is crazy. I know that they were laughing on her laughing at her on like Russian TV because she bought their propaganda so wholeheartedly. Oh man. This is fucking why I left the left ass motherfucker too. Like Christ.
My heart
let
is
me look
yours.
up
Let me serve you.
Thing.
Now is the time for us to step into the arena and to stand as warriors for freedom and truth and fight. May God bless you all.
Yes.
We love you, Charlie. May God bless this great nation. Thank you.
Oh, Marco Rubio. Jesus.
Secretary Marco Rubio.
Am I a Russiagate person? No. Or I believe Russia uses propaganda, but Tulsi Gabbard was being laughed at on Russian state TV. And Russia was interested in helping Trump win in 2016.
About maybe 10 or 12 years ago, a person I knew very well, had been very helpful to me in my campaigns when I was in the Senate, came to me and said she had met this very impressive young man, and he was going to start this group to go on college campuses and try to convince young Americans that ours is the greatest country in the history of the world and that Marxism was bad.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think Trump's full of shit when he's like, Russia was a total hoax, yada yada. Yeah. Russia had an interest in helping Trump win.
And I remember thinking back then, I'm going to admit to you guys, I was a little skeptical. I said, college campuses, you're going to do that? Why don't you start somewhere easier, like, for example, communist Cuba, you know?
Charlie Kirk's
but my skepticism was proven wrong. In place after place over the last 12, 14, 16 years, we've seen this renaissance. Understand where we were at that time in our history. Understand where we are still today in many places, where young Americans are actively told that everything that they were taught, that all the foundations that made our society and our civilization.
I'm very firmly on the left. I'm center-left Dem. I'm not a Marxist or a communist. I still believe in liberal democracy and a capitalist system, but with healthy regulation and social programs and free healthcare and all that.
So grand, they were all wrong, they were all evil, that marriage is oppressive, that children are a burden, that America is a source of evil, not of good in the world. And here was this voice that inspired a movement in which young Americans were told that is not true. The highest calling we are called to is to be in a successful marriage and to raise productive children. And a movement that taught them that ours was not a great country, but the greatest, most exceptional nation that has ever existed in the history of all of mankind. And that it's worth fighting for, it's worth defending, it's worth preserving, and it's worth passing on to the next generation.
Yeah, obviously I want equality and justice for all peoples. The Russia of today is just an oligarchy. Like, it's not even Marxist or anything. It's so far from any ideals. It's just an oligarchical dictatorship. Like, what are we doing?
This was the mission and the work of Charlie Kirk. And a couple things that stand out about him. He led this movement, but he did so with incredible knowledge. It's unbelievable how much he knew. He came to me very recently. He said some quote. I said, who said that? He said, Marcus Aurelius. I said, what district does he represent?
I'm not debating Russia.
I kind of knew who it was, but he said back, no, it's a...
Wasn't this Steele dossier like a footnote that was like nobody was saying this was any good? But it's just quoted by Republicans? Or is that some other part of it? Yeah, no, it's just... like, plain as day, Russia was hacking the DNC and whatnot, and releasing shit, and making up fake emails by hacking them together. Like, wow, I wonder who they were trying to support.
Roman, philosopher king or emperor. His incredible knowledge. Let me tell you that one of the last messages I had with him was just a few days before his passing, where he wrote me from overseas, I'm in South Korea, I have many concerns I want to share with you when I get back. He was constantly expanding his horizons, but he just didn't have knowledge. He had wisdom, an uncanny amount of wisdom for a man as young as he was.
Are you a MAGA person? Like,
wisdom that sometimes it takes a lifetime to accumulate.
Yes, I'm
he had
aware
it in
of
just
what it
31
is,
years.
or what the basis is.
He was also bold. It is so easy, and listen, I've been guilty of it. I think many of us have been guilty of this. You hide behind the walls and you surround yourself with people that agree with you. We do it as a society all the time. Increasingly, people are moving into neighborhoods with other people that agree with them politically. And
Yes, I believe we have free and fair elections. I believe mail-in voting is a fine thing. Election fraud is so infinitesimally small. Trump lost in 2020. Like, yeah, no, our election security's fine. Trump's a big piss baby and tried to insurrect the government because he couldn't stop shitting himself because he lost.
Isolate themselves from people that do not agree with them. But Charlie Kirk was bold. He actively sought out to engage peacefully, respectfully, those who he disagreed with. As recently as 2 days ago, we learned of one of the hosts on CNN who said that one of the messages he had gotten just a few days before Charlie's passing was from him, inviting him to dialogue. And he did this on campuses, he did this on podcasts, he did this on radio shows, he did this on television shows. Time and again, he sought to engage those he disagreed with because he understood that we were not created to isolate ourselves from one another, but to engage. The irony in all this is that what our nation needs, one of the many things it needs, is the ability to discuss our differences openly, honestly, peacefully, respectfully. And Charlie Kirk did that more than anyone
Didn't they do a study
alive.
that said that lobbying wasn't actually as big of a deal as it is? I still am, like, not a fan of lobbying at all, but I still think we're for the people, by the people. By and large, what the people want, they get. It's just a matter of do the people want things that are good for them or not?
In America today is doing. And Charlie Kirk was impactful.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Charlie Kirk. I don't think he was a voice for good.
Impactful because of all the things I've said, but look around this place. There's 100-something thousand people here. The President of the United States is here. His entire cabinet is here. Television outlets and media outlets from all over the world are covering this. I just came from overseas, and every country I stopped, they gave us their condolences for his passing. Impactful. In just 31 years of life, he made a difference. He mattered, and he will matter now more than he ever has before. And let me close with this. How do you remember? This is a memorial service. It's to honor him. How do you best remember it? I'll take the liberty of saying what I think we can best do. Look, I think he had a tremendous impact on young Americans in general. I think he had a very special and direct impact on young men in this country. That's one of the greatest developments I've seen. It's been very positive. I think we remember him for that. I think we remember him for constantly saying, you want to live a productive life, get married, start a family, love your country. These are powerful messages. But I hope many who are watching, I imagine there are people watching here tonight that didn't know much about Charlie Kirk until 11 days ago. Maybe they were disengaged from politics. Maybe they were partially engaged. I hope one of the things they take from this is that the movement Charlie Kirk led and started and gave fuel to was about politics, but not only about politics. It was deeper, it was broader. And I would say that, taking the liberty, but I'm confident he would agree, one of the things he wants us to take away from this, from all of this, is the following. His deep belief that we were all created.
You gotta be careful how you phrase it, because again, we can't have a healthy country if we keep having politically violent events. Like, it's bad that he got killed. Like, now the rhetoric he was spouting wasn't good, but it's bad that someone killed him. Those can both be true.
Every single one of us, before the beginning of time, by the hands of the God of the universe, an all-powerful God, who loved us and created us for the purpose of living with him in eternity. But then sin entered the world and separated us from our Creator. And so God took on the form of a man
kind of still in
and
shock
came
at how
down and lived among
religious
us.
this
And he
is.
suffered like men. And he died like a man. But on the third day, he rose unlike any mortal man. And to prove any doubters wrong, he ate with his disciples so they could see, and they touched his wounds. He didn't rise as a ghost or as a spirit, but as flesh.
I think we have a relatively healthy functioning democracy. Now, Trump is a pretty big departure from that, but by and large, the democratic system works pretty well.
And then he rose to the heaven, but he promised he would return.
Food waste is a
And he
problem,
will.
yeah.
And when he returns, because he took on that death, because he carried that cross, we were freed from the sin that separated us from him. And when he returns, there will be a new heaven and a new earth, and we will all be together, and we are going to have a great reunion there again with Charlie and all the people we love. Thank you, and God bless you.
Yes, rule by the wealthy. This is something. Oh, fuck. Like that. This gets better and better. What the? Why is Musk here? I feel like it's TV land are the people that are telling you everything's broken and going to hell all the time. Like, it's fine, relatively.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Secretary Pete Hegseth.
Charlie Kirk.
What do we think? Is this going to be more or less hinged than Tulsi Gabbard?
A patriot, a conservative, a leader, a builder, an advocate, an author, a lover of freedom. A husband, a father, a Christian, and a warrior. You see, Charlie Kirk was a true believer for the cause of freedom, for the power of young people, belief in our republic and our founding principles, in America first and make America great again. But more importantly, he was a true believer.
So I think I'll look up what.
Only Christ is King, our Lord and Savior. Our sins are washed away by the blood of Jesus. Fear God and fear no man. That was Charlie Kirk. You see, Charlie Kirk started Turning Point USA to change our politics. That's when I first met him over a decade ago. He was building a movement,
that is true.
and nobody worked harder at it. Bringing people to political small t truth. I still have the sticker. Big
Gallup says
government
40%
sucks.
approval rating. Christ. We have the cabinet.
And he pursued that truth with more vigor than anyone I've ever met. But over time, he realized, like so many of us have, that this is not a political war. It's not even a cultural war. It's a spiritual war. Faith and family first. There is a God, and as Charlie would say, it is not us. We're sinners saved only by grace in need of the gospel. You see, we always did need less government, but what Charlie understood and infused into his movement is we also needed a lot more God. Charlie
famously small government policy of send the National Guard into cities.
Had big plans But God had even bigger plans. You know, Marco mentioned this arena and the millions watching. A couple days ago, I learned that Kirk, actually in the German language, means church. So on this Sunday morning, I'd like to think we're all in Charlie's church. Charlie started a political movement but unleashed a spiritual revival. My pastor texted me the day after that horrific event and said, "Pete, the devil overplayed his hand." Charlie started with liberty, but ended up lighting our country on fire for Christ. He started Turning Point USA, but this moment is the turning point for the USA. Right now. He died the way he lived, speaking the truth. Charlie waged war not with a weapon, but with a tent, a microphone, his mind, and the truth. And the gates of hell could not prevail against him.
Are we, like, lately insinuating that the Democrats are demons and the product of hell? Or
he went into the darkest of places, like Paul in the book of Acts. He went into college campuses where they said we couldn't go, and he was the light. He was bold, he was brave, he was a hero. You know, at the War Department, we know a little bit about heroism. I've seen it personally on the battlefield from Americans wearing camouflage, and I'm surrounded by men and women today who have the chance to witness the same. Most people don't know this, but Charlie Kirk wanted to go to West Point. It never happened, obviously. His personal loss at that moment was our nation's great gain.
I don't think I have any commentary to add at this moment.
Charlie Kirk was a citizen who had the biblical heart of a soldier of the faith, who put on every single day the full armor of God with a smile, as the scriptures tell all Christ followers to do. Charlie Kirk,
I cannot
a warrior for country, a warrior for Christ. He ran the race. He finished the fight. Now it's our turn. My charge to all of you: live worthy of Charlie Kirk's sacrifice and put Christ at the center of your life as he advocated for giving his.
Are we getting an official state religion soon? Is that coming? Feels like that's the next step.
Charlie has heard the words echoing now in heaven. Well done, good and faithful servant. Charlie will take it from here. God bless.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't think this has ever been done for a political pundit, and using this to, like, galvanize a base, it's just...
Charlie's.
Yeah, no, can't have the world's richest man and the world's most powerful man beefing with each other. Oh.
Overarching passion was his Christianity and his devotion to his God. He believed what St. Francis taught us almost 1,000 years ago.
No, I picked up on that sarcasm.
And we should strive to live our lives in perfect imitation of Christ. That we should turn every day and every moment and every interaction into a prayer. And Charlie understood the great paradox that it's only by surrender to God that God's power can flow into our lives and make us effective human beings. Christ died at 33 years old, but he changed the trajectory of history. Charlie died flow into our lives and make us effective human beings. Every moment and every interaction into a prayer. And Charlie understood the great paradox that it's only by surrender to God that God's power can flow into our lives and make us effective human beings. Christ died at 33 years old, but he changed the trajectory of history. Charlie died at 31 years old. Because he had surrendered, he also now has changed the trajectory of history. Charlie's other passion was free speech. He understood that the free flow of information was the soil, the water, the sunlight for democracy. He understood democracy's great advantage was that our policies were formed by ideas that had triumphed in a marketplace of debate and conversation. He thought that conversation was the only way to heal our country. And this was particularly important during a technological age when we are all hooked into social rhythms, social algorithms that are hacked into the reptilian cores of our brain and amplify our impulses for tribalism and for division. He felt that the only way to overcome that biological impulse was with a spiritual fire and with developing community, and the only way to develop community was through conversation. And so he always gave the biggest microphone to the people who were most passionately aligned against him, because he believed that we need to talk to each other and that we needed to be able to say what we mean without saying it mean. A few years ago, my brother David died, and I asked my mother, does the hole that they leave in you when they die, does it ever get any smaller? And she said to me, it never gets any smaller. But our job is to grow ourselves bigger around the hole. And we do that by taking the best qualities, the best, most admirable character traits of the person that died, and integrate them with restraint, with discipline, with practice into our own character. And in doing that, we make ourselves larger and the whole gets proportionally smaller. We also give a kind of immortality to the person who left us, because their work continues through us. A couple of days ago, my granddaughter left for college in Europe. Her mother noticed that she packed a Bible. When her mother asked her why she made that choice, she said, I want to live more like Charlie. And it's... In one of my first conversations with Charlie in July of 2021, we were talking about the risks that all of us take when we challenge entrenched interest, the physical risk. And he asked me if I was scared of dying.
This is gonna be this, like, I don't know. Too worth. What is the point in watching the babble? It's the same shit. Alright, I will be back in Actually, I think I'm just gonna take a break for a bit. I might be back live later. If you got anything out of the stream, throw me a follow. If not, no worries. And yeah, see everyone around.